After a pair of dominant wins to open the season, Henley faces definitely their biggest test of the year. So as they welcome Ashland in their league opener. 4-3 and 960 Sports and watching on mybasin.com.
It was kind of what defined me as a person. I loved to play every sport I could possibly play. The Abbeys was really the family stomping ground for all of our community. Saturday afternoon soccer tournaments, we'd head over to Abbeys afterwards. And then when we got up into middle school, on our way home, we'd stop at Abbeys after basketball games. When I go home, I want to see two things when I drive through Winston. I want to see my Abbeys and I want to see my high school. And those are the two memories that stick out the most to me. Sports was kind of what defined me as a person. I loved to play every sport I could possibly play. The Abbeys was really the family stomping ground for all of our community. Saturday afternoon soccer tournaments, we'd head over to Abbeys afterwards. And then when we got up into middle school, on our way home, we'd stop at Abbeys after basketball games. When I go home, I want to see two things when I drive through Winston. I want to see my Abbeys and I want to see my high school. And those are the two memories that stick out the most to me. This was kind of what defined me as a person. I loved to play every sport I could possibly play. The Abbeys was really the family stomping ground for all of our community. Saturday afternoon soccer tournaments, we'd head over to Abbeys afterwards. And then when we got up into middle school, on our way home, we'd stop at Abbeys after basketball games. When I go home, I want to see two things when I drive through Winston. I want to see my Abbeys and I want to see my high school. And those are the two memories that stick out the most to me.
Thanks to Les Schwab tires, I'm a confident backseat driver, but Mom's a little stressed about spending. Remember, deep breaths and watch your speed. Even though we're watching our wallets, Les Schwab is still watching out for our safety. So turn here.
During the Les Schwab Founders Celebration Sale, save up to $150 instantly on select sets of 4 tires. Les Schwab tires, doing the right thing since 1952.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 120,000.
They beat Eagle Point in week 1. That's the first time they've won back-to-back games since 2019, Kevin.
Yeah, if there's one thing I've noticed about Ashland early in the season is
played in the fourth quarter, Kevin.
Yeah, Henley jumped up in the rankings. It's pretty hard not to rank a team when they've given up 0 points with their first team offense and averaging 42 points on offense. So Henley's had their way the first 2.
We're going to take another break. When we come back, we'll revisit last year's matchup and hear what Henley head coach Alex Stork had to say about this time around. Matt Bowling here alongside Kevin Petrik. You're listening to Henley Football on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the stage.
In the pool. On the field. Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah!
Be great.
Participate!
Threads. There are many threads that run through our region. There are churches and schools and Little League teams that bring us together and bind us into communities. There are roads and cars, there are houses and jobs and businesses, all woven together to make the fabric of our communities. There are financial threads that are part of that tapestry as well. For over 80 years, it's been our pleasure to be headquartered here, providing financial services to generations of our friends and neighbors. From that first savings account, the retirement planning, and all of the cars and houses and groceries in between, we keep your money local, investing it back into our communities, adding more threads to the fabric to make our communities stronger. Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union. Find your path.
Not corporate. At Clown Falls Subaru, we built our business on that simple promise. Well, that and some of the best people you're ever going to meet. Hi, I'm Rob Cedar, General Manager at Clown Falls Subaru. Our 62 employees make it easy for us to live up to our comfortable, not corporate philosophy. Friendly faces, easy answers, straight talk, fairness, and exceptional service. These are the things you expect. These are the things that all of our people deliver. Our management team, sales pros, certified service and body shop techs, experts are all 100% focused on you. Local people putting their friends and neighbors first. At Clown Falls Subaru, that's the only way we do business. It's comfortable, not corporate. Our team members also spend hundreds of hours each year supporting local charities and events.
Kevin.
Yeah, I think Carroll will get their running game going. That will cause Henley some trouble.
All right. They are getting ready to play the national anthem here, so we will step aside. We'll see what Henley head coach Alex Stork had to say about tonight's matchup.
I love to play every sport I could possibly play. The Abbeys was really the family stomping ground for all of our community. Saturday afternoon, soccer tournaments, we'd head over to Abbeys afterwards. And then when we got up into middle school, on our way home, we'd stop at Abbeys after basketball games. When I go home, I want to see two things when I drive through Winston. I want to see, and those are the two memories that stick out the most to me.
Thanks to Les Schwab Tires, I'm a confident backseat driver, but they were watching our wallets. Les Schwab is still watching out for our safety. So let's start here.
During the Les Schwab Founders Celebration Sale, save up to $150 instantly on select sets of 4 tires. Les Schwab Tires, doing the right thing since 1952.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 120,000 participants here in Oregon who take part in high school sports or activities.
And the home of the brave. At this time, the officials and team captains will meet at the 50-yard line for the flip of the coin and a sportsmanship message.
Welcome back to Hill O'Brien Field. We are just a couple minutes away from kickoff. Is out there, but Henley, they've got the black jerseys with the yellow pants. Ashland in their all whites. If you squint, Henley kind of looks like the Pittsburgh
Ashland, so no travel weariness for them. Should be a good game.
So I spoke with Henley head coach Alex Stork earlier, and he told me the X factor for this game going to be defending the pass, keeping JoJo Harrower in the pocket, keeping pressure on him. Offensively, he said they want to be able to run the ball as effectively as they have in the first couple of games. But I think it is going to come down to JoJo Harrower. Last year he was 20 of 35 for 289 yards and 3 touchdowns, but Henley intercepted him 3 times. He threw 5 touchdowns last week against North Eugene. He could have had 1 or 2 more, but he had to come out after sustaining a knee injury playing defense. Now, all indications are that he's at 100% heading into this game, but if anything were to happen where he'd have to come out, that could be very bad news for Ashland.
Yeah, when an offensive coach dials up 35 pass plays in a high school game, you know they can throw the football. You don't see that very often, usually 10 to 15. So Ashland will sling it, and Henley's defensive secondary will have to be ready.
All right, the kickoff teams are on the field. Henley will kick off to open the game. Now, Ashland does have 3 kickoff return touchdowns this season, including 2 last week.
It's currently 82 degrees, visibility 32 miles. The wind is out of the north and northwest at 2 miles an hour.
Henley's going to start on defense. Their defense has played great their first 8 quarters. Haven't allowed a point. Done a really nice job. They've allowed some long drives, but at the end of the drive, they're always able to stop their opponent from scoring. So Henley definitely want to keep that going tonight.
Jaime Pisano getting set to kick off for Henley. And we are underway. It's the league opener for both teams. And Gavin White takes the fair catch in the end zone.
Nice kick again by Jaime. I think the special teams is going to be a real important part of Henley's success this year, being able to kick that ball in the end zone on the kickoff. You avoid any kind of a run back, any kind of surprises. And Ashland will have to start at their own 20.
So JoJo Harrower, Jr., 3-year starter, takes the field with the with the Grizzlies offense against the Hornets defense from his own 20. He's got 2 receivers to his left and a running back behind and to the right of him. Man comes in motion. Quick pitch out to Gavin White, and White is bottled up at the line of scrimmage.
Henley got there in a hurry. Chris Janney, first one there for the tackle.
And Gavin White put up close to 300 yards of offense last week in Ashland's game against North Eugene. Ran for 174 yards and a touchdown on 11 carries. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left for Harrower. It's a quick throw out to Caden Negra. And he works his way forward almost to the first down marker.
Bryson Montag out there. That was just a short little pass in the flat on the far side of the field. Nobody really picked him up out there. The receiver had some free time, and it'll be 3rd and short. We've seen Gavin White. He may get the ball here, but we have a penalty flag first. Officials are sorting this out. It's going to be illegal procedure against the Grizzlies. That'll back them up 5 yards, bring up a 3rd down and 6 for Ashland. And that's what Henley wants. Try to get their opponent in 3rd and long, force them into a pass, and then turn the ball over on downs or a punt. Ashland taking their time here. Getting the play from the sideline, and they'll make a shift. 2-15. And that will force Ashland into a punt here early on their first possession.
It's going to be Jacob Ortega to punt. Returner back around the Henley 40. It's Luke Bennett. Ortega punting from his...
Hornets putting up 42 points a game on average. 38 first week, I believe 46 last week. And Coach Pasch's had pretty good execution from this offense. They'll try to run the ball first with Whitlock and then throw when they need to. Sophomore quarterback doing a nice job.
And once again, they're benefiting from a short field here. Last week they had several short fields because of turnovers. Now this is just a good spot where they forced a punt from the goal line. So from the Ashland 46, Joe Janney and the Henley offense come out. Trips right, one to the left, Whitlock to the left of Janney. They give it to him on the first possession. He breaks out right into the secondary and down to the 35. Great opening carry for Logan Whitlock.
That's the right way to start a football game right there. You know, teams are going to focus on Logan. They know where the ball's going. You just cannot stop it. That was a big gainer for a first down.
10:20 left in the first quarter, still scoreless. Henley on their opening drive on the Ashland 35. Two receivers on either side of Joe Janney, who has Whitlock on his left. Montag comes in motion from the right side. Fake throw, hand to Whitlock. Whitlock, another carry for a first down and a little more. Down to the 22 goes Logan Whitlock.
There we see his strength. He'll carry tacklers with him. He carried 3 or 4 of them that time. And 2 carries, 2 first downs for the Hornets.
9:53 on the clock in the first quarter. Two receivers on either side. Whitlock on the right hip of Janney. 1st and 10 on the Ashland 22. They get the signal in from the sideline. Janney, hand to Whitlock. Whitlock through the middle. And that time he's bottled up. It'll be a gain of about 1.
Ashland figured it out that time. Whole bunch of Grizzlies in on that tackle. Right in the middle of the defensive line.
I'll call it no gain. So 2nd and 10, 9 minutes to go in the first. Trips left. One on the right. Whitlock again tries to go left, but they track him down pretty quickly. He still picks up about 4.
Yeah, the Hornets went with a little misdirection that time. Kind of started right, then went left. And it'll bring up 3rd down and long. And we may see our first pass for Joe Janney.
They'll call it 3rd and 7 with 8:25 to go. Whitlock on the left side, on the right side of Joe Janney. It's a quick throw out to Luke Bennett, who picks up the first down and more.
And he skates just for enough yardage. It'll be 1st and goal for Henley. Nice execution there on that 3rd down. You probably knew a pass was coming, but Henley did a nice job.
Now they come out trips right with Whitlock on the right side of Joe Janney. They give it to Whitlock. Up the middle, finds a hole, and he is across the goal line for a touchdown. Oh, no. They're going to say he was just short. He was on, it looked like he got in on top of a couple of Ashland defenders. And there should be no doubt about that one, and there isn't. Logan Whitlock is in for the touchdown. His 9th of the season, and it puts Henley on the board with 7:19 to go in the first.
Well, that's just how you want to start. A good drive starting about midfield. As you mentioned, Matt, they had good field position, took advantage of the short field, and they marched it in for 6. Another touchdown for Logan Whitlock. He's stacking those up.
Jaime Pisano comes on for the PAT. It is up and it is good. So it's a 7-0 lead for Henley.
Wait a minute. I think he might have missed it. I think they called no good. It looked good, didn't it?
It sure did from this angle, but they've got a better vantage point than we do. So it remains 6-0 Henley, 7:19 to go in the first. We'll be right back. You're listening to Hornets football on 104.3 and 960 Sports and watching on mybasin.com.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the stage.
In the pool. On the field. Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah!
Be great.
Participate!
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the stage.
In the pool. On the field. Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah!
Be great.
Participate!
Will take over on their 20-yard line.
Another touchback from Jaime Pisano puts Ashland on their own 20 to start their second drive as Harrower's pass is tipped. Tried to go out to the right sideline. 7:14 to go in the first quarter. Henley leads 6-0 here at Hill O'Brien Field.
That was good defense by Bryson Montag. He played that perfectly. Couple steps behind the receiver. He did a little button hook on the far sideline. He timed his run perfectly to break up that pass.
2nd and 10. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Gavin White in the backfield with Harrower, who dropped the snap, now has to pick it up and run with it. It's a fumble. Henley's got it.
There's Bryson Montag in the right spot, picking up the fumble, getting the Henley turnover.
Ball popped out, and he dove on it on the Ashland 29.
That play had bad news written all over it for Ashland right from the snap. Harrower wasn't able to handle the snap, dropped the football, decided to take off, and lost the ball when he made his way upfield. Henley gets a turnover.
So Bryson Montag with the fumble recovery. Could you see who forced it, Kevin?
I did not see it. There were a number of Hornets that knocked it loose.
So Henley with another short field on the Grizzlies 29, 1st and 10. Empty backfield for Joe Janney. Whitlock comes in motion. It's a sweep. Whitlock around the right side, stiff arms a defender and trucks his way down to the 20. I don't think he's got the first down, but he's close, pretty close.
It's like an old-fashioned fly sweep there for Whitlock. I like what Henley does. We haven't seen open backfield, I don't think, this year. I think that's the first time we've seen it for the most part. And as the season goes along, they'll add new wrinkles, make it a little tougher to scout. So a good gain of almost 9 for Logan on that first down.
Trips left, excuse me. 1 to the right. Fake the handoff to Whitlock. Quick throw out to Luke Bennett, who makes a man miss. He makes another man miss. He's got the first down and more, down close to the 10.
That was a good play action. They were looking for Whitlock to get the ball. He pulled the ball, made a nice throw, and a good block Downfield from Emiliano Ortiz Banderas. And that sprung his receiver. Pick up enough yards for the first down. Another first down for Henley. They are moving the football well, just where they left off last week.
So first and up 6-0. They're on the Ashland, we'll call it the 13. Hand off to Whitlock, down to about the 9.
That was a nice little inside run that time. He was following Braden Morris up the field. Some good blocking. He picked up about 4.
Henley's field, for those who are unfamiliar, does not have hash marks. It's got to make spotting the ball a little more difficult. 2nd and 6 for the Hornets. Under 6 minutes to go in the first and a 6-0 lead. Trips left. Whitlock on the right side of Janney. They give it to him. He goes right side and he slipped. Seemed like he slipped at least.
Yeah, he did. Looked like he might have picked up a few more yards there. He did. He tried to cut to his left and it just kind of slipped. His feet slipped underneath him. Still picked up a few, and it'll bring up 3rd down and say 3 or 4.
Fell right on the 5, so easy spot that time. Trips left, Whitlock on the right side of Joe Janney. Luke Bennett all alone on the right side. He's in a one-on-one with.
But they're changing the play here.
3rd and 3. They give it to Whitlock. He charges up the middle. He's just short of the goal line, but he should pick up the first down here.
That was a great effort from Whitlock that time. You knew he wasn't going to probably get in the end zone, but he got enough for the first down. That would have brought up a 4th and short had he not given that extra effort. That was well worth the effort. Henley picks up a first down inside the 3.
1st and goal, Henley on the 2. Trips right.
Another nice wrinkle there from the Henley offense. They snapped the ball right to Whitlock that time, and he took it over the left side in for the touchdown. Nice drive, good balance, successful Henley drive for their 2nd touchdown.
Pisano on to attempt the PAT. Oh, it's a high snap, and Chris Janney's going to take off with it. They wrestle him down out of bounds, so it remains 12-0 Henley with 4:32 to go in the first quarter. That's 2 unsuccessful PATs for the Hornets. Matt Bowling here alongside Kevin Petrik. We'll step aside. You're listening to Henley Football on 104.3 and 960 Sports and watching on mybasin.com.
COVID, I gained over 24 pounds. I lost motivation in working out. I lost motivation in eating healthy. And for me, if I'm not active, I just don't eat well. But then I started taking a class at Harbor's gym called High Low. The first week I felt like I didn't fit in and I couldn't do it. But the instructor was so kind and thanked me for coming and told me how well I did. I was like, no, I wasn't, but it made me come back the next week and the next week. And soon enough, I was keeping up with the class. I started introducing more classes and then going Saturdays. I learned how to lift weights accurately with repetition. I started lifting on my own. I started golfing too with my husband. And all of a sudden, I was buying salads instead of sandwiches. Small victories happened week by week, and it's 100% because of Harbor, their staff, their gym, the golf. My husband is getting out of the house and working out with me. His golf game is increasing, we're lifting together, and we feel good. Harbor, where I lost my reins and got my gains.
And they really know what they want to do and how they want to execute, and it's worked twice already here in the first quarter.
Jaime Pisano to kick off. This one's just short.
Yeah, he's one of their senior leaders, and that's why the touchbacks are so valuable. If you do give up a return, you never know. You might get a long one.
So the Grizzlies start on their own 24. 4:24 to go. Ashland trails 12-0. Harrower all alone in the backfield. Drops back, quick throw, wide open is Caden Gardner. And he wrestles a Mark Carpenter off of him, and he picks up the first down before going out of bounds on the left side.
That's the first time they've come to Mark Carpenter's side. He's had a couple really good games, and they may be trying to stay away from him a little bit. But that time the receiver was open.
As we mentioned in pregame, Kevin, Mark Carpenter picked off JoJo Harrower twice last year.
Right.
When these teams met.
Yeah, they may want to stay away from his side if they can.
Two receivers on the right side. And Harrower is communicating with Caden Gardner. Looks like lined up at the tight end position. Drops back, bobbles it in his hands a little, and a quick throw. Wide open is Marcelo Saturin. And that's going to be a big gain into Henley territory along the left sideline.
He's finally dumped out of bounds over there by Kyle Nichols. And I don't know if they saw something on tape or what, but Henley has yet to pick up a receiver in that flat. I think they're clearing out a zone, and then they're bringing a back or one of their far receivers into the short field, and they've been open every time. So a lot of open receivers for JoJo to throw to so far here in the first quarter.
Now it's two to the left. Caden Negra out to the far right. Caden Gardner comes off the line to join him. Gavin White on the left side of Harrower in the backfield. Harrower scrambling, right side, chucks it deep. Out of bounds. No flags. Some nice defense there on the far side.
Yeah, that's Kyle Montag again. I'm sorry, Bryson Montag out there. And he was beaten by a couple steps. He has good makeup speed. And when that ball is in the air, he was able to get back there in time to break up that pass. Good defense.
Brings up 2nd and 10 for Ashland. Grizzlies are on the Henley 33 with 4:03 to go in the first quarter, trailing 12-0. Gardner motions out to the right side of the line. This time they hand it to Gavin White. Shakes a man, and that time is tackled after a short gain.
Whitlock there to make the tackle. And it was a short game, so they'll bring up 3rd and about 7. Another 3rd down and long here for Ashland. Ashland's receivers, I'm noticing, they have some tall receivers, so size is definitely an advantage for them, given the right matchups out there on the outside.
3rd and 7, 3:30 to go in the first quarter. Ashland right on the Henley 30, and we've got a timeout. Looks like Alex Stork wants to talk things over. We'll take it with him. You're listening to Henley Football on 104.3 and 960 Sports and watching on mybasin.com.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the stage.
In the pool. On the field. Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah!
Be great.
Participate!
Third and 7, Harrower back to throw, whips it out to the far sideline, and he's got the first down. That's Caden Negra.
Yeah, Negra's a big receiver. He's trouble out there, and they're finding space between 5 and 10 yards down the field, those receivers. And Ashland now going almost exclusively with the pass game, and that was enough for a first down. Just over 3 minutes left to play here in the first quarter.
Caden Negra had a Randy Moss-like stat line last week. 3 receptions right for JoJo Harrower. Handoff goes to Gavin White. White tries to work around the left side. It's a short gain.
That was good pursuit by the Henley defense. Luke Bennett ended up making the tackle on the outside, but did a nice job staying in their lanes and pushing the running back clear to the outside.
No, it's actually a loss of one.
They lost
Second and 11.
Lost a yard on that one. Good defense.
3:16 to go. Harrower back to throw. In trouble. Has to get out of the pocket. Wide open is Saturn again. And he's got the first down.
Harrower was getting time to throw. He had a lot of time that time. Those receivers are crossing clear across the field before he has to get rid of the football. So Henley's going to want to try to increase that rush a little bit, put a little pressure on him, because Ashland's starting to figure out that the passing game is where it's at right now for them as they pick up another first down.
1st and 10, they are, well, it's 1st and goal on the Henley 9. 2 receivers on either side. Harrower looking, back corner, caught. Was he in bounds? They'll say, yes, he was. Touchdown.
That took a while to figure it out. They were thinking about it, the officials, and they gave Negra the touchdown. A good catch in the deep corner on the far side of the field. Good throw, good grab, and Ashland's on the board.
Caden Negra ranked as the number 37 senior in the state across all classifications by Prep Red Zone. He has an offer from Linfield. Full control on that reception from Harrower. It was a great pass.
That was a nice pass. There we go.
So now Harrower will come on for the point after. And that one is good. So the Grizzlies cut it to 12-7 with 2:39 to go in the first quarter. We'll be right back. You're watching Henley football on mybasin.com, listening on 104.3 and 960 Sports.
It was kind of what defined me as a person. I loved to play every sport I could possibly play. The Abbeys was really the family stomping ground for all of our community. Saturday afternoon soccer tournaments, we'd head over to Abbeys afterwards. And then when we got up into middle school, on our way home, we'd stop at Abbeys after basketball games. When I go home, I want to see 2 things when I drive through Winston. I want to see my Abbeys and I want to see my high school. And those are the 2 memories that stick out the most to me.
On their 3rd drive, it was a great pass from JoJo Harrower to Caden Negra in the back right corner of the end zone.
Yeah, and we'll see. I think we'll see Henley make some adjustments now defensively. I think Ashland's figured out they have a little better shot throwing the football, so I think we'll see a lot of that. So Henley will have to try to make some adjustments. I think the key is to get more pressure on the quarterback, make him throw the ball sooner than he wants to, and then have a little bit better coverage back downfield. And we'll see if Henley can react to that. They give up their first touchdown of the year, but they still lead this game 12-7.
Teddy Williams gets set to kick off. 2:39 to go in the first quarter. It's a 12-7 lead for Henley. And those were the first points given up this season by the starting defensive unit, but they might have it right back. Logan Whitlock is going to take the kickoff to the house from the right sideline. Logan Whitlock. Just when you need a spark, he can deliver.
He can find the end zone at any time. He is that dangerous, and we've talked about it before here. In high school football, those special teams, those kicks, you just never know. If you give a kid a chance to run one, you never know what kind of explosive play you'll get. And that was a long touchdown run back for Logan Whitlock.
It's still early, but he's got the inside track to be our player of the game for the 3rd straight week. 2 rushing touchdowns and a kick return touchdown for Logan Whitlock. They're going to go for 2 here. 2 receivers on either side. Whitlock on the right hip of Joe Janney. Flag comes in. It's a delay of game for Henley. They didn't get the snap off in time.
Henley's been pretty disciplined through the first 3 games. That's kind of a rare mistake for them. So they'll have to decide if they still want to go for 2. The ball will be backed up a bit. Looks like they are. So another 2-point conversion attempt for the Hornets.
This would make it a 13-point lead if they're successful. They keep the same formation. Janney back to throw, looking for Bennett. Oh, he lays out to get the catch, and wow.
That was a great catch by Luke Bennett. He had to catch that ball away from his body, extended, and he made a nice grab. Well done for the Hornets. They pick up the 2-point conversion, earned themselves a 13-point lead.
A tremendous snag there by Luke Bennett. 2:27 to go in the first. We'll be right back. You're listening to Henley Football on 104.3 and 960 Sports and watching on mybasin.com. Wait. Sorry. No, scratch that. We're going to keep it here. We've got a long commercial break in store. Don't want to miss any of the action here on this kickoff.
Henley had nice composure on that extra point. They get the penalty. They probably would have run the football with the short conversion. They got backed up. They kept it together. They called a pass, and they converted. And those extra points come in handy late in the game. So good for them for adding 2, and they lead 20-7.
Jaime Pisano will kick off. Let's see if Ashland can 30.
And that's why you don't jump in football very often. If you get caught in the air, you're going to get hammered.
Ortega had a 67-yard kickoff return touchdown against North Eugene last week.
And Caleb Swanson-Utley made the tackle there, a good hit. And Ashland will start at their own 31. We're still in the first quarter. We have 27 points scored. We got a lot going on here. Still 2 minutes and 21 seconds left here in the first.
Man in motion. Handoff. Gets about a yard or 2. Or it was Ortega on the carry. And somebody's still down.
Yeah.
I think it might be Ortega still down.
Yeah, he's a little slow to get up. Thomas Bakke with the tackle for the Hornets. And Henley's done a good job. They've figured out the run, I think, for Ashland. Ashland only picking up 2-3 yards a clip, like on that play right there. So we'll have a little stoppage in play as they attend to the player for Ashland.
So if you're just joining us, this first touchdown, which was I believe an 8-yard pass? 8 or 9 yard throw from JoJo Harrower to Caden Negra. All right, Jacob Ortega is up and off the field. Seems to be all right. So the Grizzlies will come back out with a 2nd and 8 from their own 34.
We'll see what Ashland decides to do here. On first down, they did try to run the football. They've had a little success throwing it lately, so we'll see if they change their plan here. Officials taking some time to spot the ball here. We'll see what. There we go.
2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left for JoJo Harrower, who's got Gavin White on his left side. He throws over the middle, and it's incomplete.
Play action pass that time, and superb coverage from Chris Janney right there. He was step with his receiver. An incomplete pass brings up 3rd down and long.
3rd and 7, 2:02 to go. Henley with a 20-7 lead over Ashland. It's the league opener. Both of these teams in the top 4 of the OSAA rankings. Henley number 3, Ashland number 4. Two receivers on either side for Harrower as he drops back. Blitz coming, gets it away, and a nice catch on the far sideline by Negra, and that'll move the chains.
Yeah, Negra's a quality receiver. He runs good routes. That's not by accident that he's open over there. He runs nice routes, makes good cuts. He's quick, he's tall, and he's a good target for his quarterback. And he had plenty of room that time for the first down. So another first down for the Grizzlies picked up by way of pass.
Gets Ashland up to their own 45. 1:57 to go in the first quarter. 20-7 lead for Henley. It's a handoff. And Gavin White doesn't seem to get much of anywhere on that.
Yeah, he was met right at the line of scrimmage. Looks like Morris is in there. And there's no gain at all. Henley just doing a nice job stopping that run.
Yeah, Henley's run defense has really shined early this season. I mean, in week one, they held Jake White, one of the top running backs in 4A, to 45 yards.
Very impressive.
The very next week against LaSalle Prep, a 5A team, he ran for 210 yards and 3 touchdowns. And JoJo Harrower has to be helped up.
That was Cohen Redmond on that sack, and that's his second of the ball game. Cohen's really come along. He's a senior now. He's
65, not 55.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
That's okay. He got some minutes last year. Nice job for Cohen there. That's a huge loss. That'll be 3rd down and 20. It looks like
Henley does have the black numbers on a black jersey with the thin yellow outline, so not always easy.
It's hard to ID them sometimes. Yep.
3rd and 20. They are on pace to surpass that.
This has been an active first quarter. Seems like we're later in the ball game, but just 16 seconds left here in the first period.
Yeah, it's 40 minutes now, just about 40 minutes into this game. And the first quarter still 16 seconds on the clock. Well, we've had 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, a lot of touchdowns, a lot of passes. That'll stop the clock too.
So Henley takes over on their own 45. 16 seconds to go in the first quarter and a 20-7 lead for the Hornets. Not on the same page there with Luke Bennett. That could have been bad, but it was harmlessly overthrown past the defenders.
Yeah, it was almost a good because Luke ran short. Luckily, the ball was thrown long enough. There was no one there to intercept it, so he kind of carried all the defenders with him. So that's just an incompletion. But there is a penalty. A penalty flag on the play, back the line of scrimmage.
It's against Henley, so that'll move the Hornets. That'll move the Hornets to back to their own 35, just about. 1st and 20 with 9.9 on the clock.
They'll get the down over, but they've got a long way to go here on 1st and 20.
Two receivers on either side and an empty backfield for Joe Janney. 9.9 left in the first quarter. Whitlock comes in motion, and a flag comes in. I think that's going to be a false start.
It's uncharacteristic of the Hornets. We haven't had a lot of penalties this year. That's illegal procedure. And now it's 1st and 25. You got less than 10 seconds to play here in the first quarter.
Trips left. One receiver on the right side. Whitlock on the left hip of Janney. He takes the handoff. Tries to go up the middle, but the hole's not there. He goes back outside. This is going to be a big gain for Logan Whitlock. He's got the first down. Are you kidding me?
1st and 25, and he picked it up. What a nice run by Logan Whitlock right there.
It's the Logan Whitlock show here at Henley as we end the first quarter. Hornets with a 20-7 lead. I mean, what can't this guy do?
Well, that time you could really see, of all the facets of his game, that time you saw confidence because that play started left. I think it was designed to go the other direction, and he just bounced it outside. He knew he had the speed to get outside around the opposite end, and he did. And once he turns that corner, you're in trouble. And he found himself 20 yards downfield very quickly. And I don't know if Coach Pesci thought that was going to pick up all 20 here in a second.
So if you're just tuning in, it's a 20-7 lead for the Hornets. Logan Whitlock has all 3 touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns, 1 kickoff return touchdown. Henley defense has forced 2 turnovers so far, a fumble and an interception. Bryson Montag forced the fumble, and Luke Bennett had the interception on a tip ball. JoJo Harrower has 1 touchdown pass to Caden Negra. And those are the only points so far for the Grizzlies. 2-0. They've won back-to-back games for the first time since 2019. You could say they're 2-1 if you count the Pacific Rim Bowl. We'll tell you more about that later as Jenny's going to run it and picks up about 5. Nice run there by Joe Janney.
That was an impressive play by a young quarterback. That ball was meant to be thrown quickly to the far side. He almost threw that ball and realized, hey, my guy's covered. He tucked it and ran upfield and picked up 5. Sometimes the best thing a quarterback can do is not throw the football. And in that case, he made a good decision.
He hesitated a little, but went ahead and ran up the middle, picked up 4. 2nd and 6 for Henley. Trips left, 1 to the right. Hand it to Whitlock. He goes left side. He's got space. Stiff arms one man, stiff arms another. And he's finally bumped out down at the Ashland 25.
He got a nice block from Chris Janney to seal the defender to the inside. And Whitlock was able to get his way outside for another first down. Good blocking, good execution. And Henley's moving the ball once again.
Trips right. Luke Bennett on the left side. Whitlock on the right side of Joe Janney. They give it to Whitlock again. Rolling into the secondary and down to the 10.
That was a nifty little inside handoff. Joe Janney was streaking to his right, just kind of laid the ball there. Whitlock came across and went to the left. And another first down. The first and goal for the Hornets.
And they take a pause to get the signal in from the sideline. 11-10 left in the second quarter. Henley up 20-7, and they can add to it. First and goal. Trips right, nobody on the left side. Whitlock on the right side of Janney.
The play, he anticipated that just like you need to, and he beat Logan to that spot to get to the corner. And man, nice. So they will huddle up and talk about it with the coaching staff.
I believe that's Henley's second timeout they've called. So they'll have 1 left this half.
Henley's offense very businesslike. I just think they just execute, they call the play, they take their time, they get where they need to be, and they just had a lot of success really all 3 games so far. And they're in striking distance right now to put another touchdown up on the board. They've got 3 already tonight, and we're early in the second quarter.
Let's see if Logan Whitlock can score his number again. He's scored 4 touchdowns in both of the first 2 games. So now he's up to 10 rushing and 1 kick return touchdown in the first 3 games. Well, first 2 and a little over a quarter games, really. They come out in the same formation. Fake the handoff, throwing over the middle and off the hands of, who was that?
I think that was Luke Bennett. Not sure.
Yeah, that was, might have been Chris Janney.
Yep, that was Chris. You're right. That was Chris out there. That was a pretty good throw. He put it right where he had to, high and away, because he was covered pretty well. The incompletion now brings up 3rd down.
The brothers have linked up for a touchdown, and they had a great shot that time. but he couldn't haul it in. Now Joe Janney scrambles, lets it fly. It's batted and maybe should have been intercepted.
There was a whole lot of traffic in the end zone there, and it probably was fortunate that the pass was batted down there. Joe rolling to his right, kind of tried to throw back against his body just a little bit. And the incompletion brings up 4th down. We'll see if Henley will try a field goal here. They lead 20-7.
Looks like they will. So from the 12, that would make it a 29-yard field goal for Jaime Pisano. He hit a 38-yarder in the season opener against Seaside. This one misses wide right. So it'll stay 20-7 Henley with 9:59 to go.
After the missed field goal. 9:59 left to play in the first half. Hornets lead 20-7.
So Ashland will start from the 20. Grizzlies with 2 receivers out to the right, 1 to the left. Harrower takes the snap. Throws it short out to Gavin White. And was that? I'll give him a gain of about 2 or 3.
Not a whole lot there. Just a quick little pass to his running back. And he was open but didn't have a lot of room. Whitlock closed the gap quickly and pushed him out only after a couple-yard gain.
We'll call it 2nd and 7. So Ashland lines up, looks like trips right as the formation takes shape. Trips right, 1 to the left. Harrower trying to communicate something to Caden Negra.
A little bit of confusion over there on the Ashland sideline. They're still trying to figure out their formation.
And they're going to have to take a timeout.
That play just wasn't going to work from the start, and some of the players are kind of getting into it with each other. There was a miscommunication there, and it cost them a timeout.
Yeah, it's not something you really want to see down by 13.
No, they'll figure this out. They called the timeout. The coaches will figure this out, but that's probably a good move by the quarterback there, Harrower, to call a timeout because that play was not going to work. There's a lot of confusion, people in the wrong spot, so they'll try it again after the timeout.
So we mentioned the Pacific Rim Bowl earlier. It's a really great thing that Ashland is involved in. Every 2 years since 1988, they've played a summer exhibition game against a Japanese high school all-star team. They alternate locations between Oregon and Japan. This year, the game was in Kobe. Japan won 47-14, but I mean, what an experience for the Ashland players. They were there a little more than a week. They rode the bullet train.
Wow.
Visited the Hiroshima Peace Memorial Park.
I thought Seaside was a long trip.
Empty backfield for Harrower. Two receivers to the left, one to the. A lot of flags. Not entirely sure what is going on out there.
Whatever it was, they all saw it because flags came from every direction. So
I mean, there were flags like as soon as the ball was snapped and then a pass thrown for a first down, but it looks like that's not going to count.
There was a hold on Ashland, so they will back it up. Everybody saw that one. And that's a tough break for Ashland because that was, but now it's going to bring up 2nd and around 17.
I guess they're going to call it holding.
Yeah.
And they had 3 receivers out to the left, 2 to the right. And it was an empty backfield for JoJo Harrower. And now they come out with 2 to the right, 1 to the left. Tight end motion to the left side of the line. Harrower launches it deep, and open is Negra, but he was overthrown. 9:29 to go in the second quarter. Henley with a 20-7 lead.
That's one thing about having when your offense is geared toward passing, it will help you out if you're behind in the game, obviously. If you're focused on running the football, you can't catch up. These guys could get 2 quick touchdowns with 2 long passes, so you have to be wary all the time.
2 to the left, 2 to the right. Harrower rolls right, just throws it out of bounds. Felt the pressure immediately and just threw it away from his own end zone.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about. Trying to get some pressure on the quarterback, and that time successfully. Justin Elbert was in there, forcing Harrower to make a quick throw, and that was definitely to Henley's advantage, as we'll see a punt now from the Grizzlies.
It will be Jacob Ortega from his own end zone. Luke Bennett set to return from his own 45. 6 punting to 6. $9:23 to go. Decent punt from Ortega. It comes down at his own 45 and takes a nice bounce to stay on the Ashland side of the 50. Flag comes in late.
I didn't see what happened. That flag was late. That ball was already downed. The kick was dead. And
perhaps some words were exchanged that the referees did not like. They're still conferring. Let's see what the call is here.
Those are penalties you just don't want to have, because you can avoid those, and that's going to be on Henley.
Looks like unsportsmanlike is the call. Or holding.
I think there were actually. I think there were 2 fouls on that play.
Yeah.
So that was the case.
Yeah, I missed the first one. Holding. Yeah, I think holding and then an unsportsmanlike. So I think the holding might have been. Yeah. Okay.
They're going to sort this out. Henley would have had the ball on the Ashland side of the field, but now it'll be pushed back, and they'll have a little longer to go.
So it's holding on Henley.
And they're going to attack the unsportsmanlike onto that, possibly, too. Is that why it's going back that far, looks like? Because they're marching. They are still going. They're at the 30, and they're still marching it back. That's a costly penalty for the Hornets.
Yeah, so Henley's looks like now they're going to start from their own 27. So it would have been great field position. Now a little more than a touchback. Whitlock comes in motion from the left side. Joe Janney keeps it and doesn't get too far. Picks up a couple yards, trying to go up the middle.
Good little decoy play there. Faking the ball to Whitlock, and then Joe Janney keeping it. You have to remember, Joe's very fast himself. He's a sprinter in track, and if he can find some open space, he can score as well. So, good idea there. Didn't quite work for too many yards. Picked up about 2.
Trips right, 1 to the left. Whitlock on the right side of Janney. They give it to Whitlock. Goes up the middle, pulls a spin move, trying to get away from the defense. No good. It'll only be a gain of about 3.
And they're going with a couple of inside runs there, and Ashland able to cover up on that. So, be 3rd and 5 for the Hornets. We'll see what they do here.
3rd and 5, Henley. 8:10 to go in the second quarter. Hornets on their own 33. And Alex Stork calls his last time out.
We've seen a little disorganization from both clubs. Ashland's last offensive possession was just a struggle for them. They had a lot of trouble, ended up punting the football, and then now Henley's going to talk about it here. A couple of penalties, a little bit of messy play, but I think it's important to see how Henley responds after having a little bit of trouble. We'll see how they come out with this 3rd down and 5.
8:03 to go in the second quarter. Henley leads 20-7.
It seems odd for those of us who have been here a while that this is a league game. Ashland is in our league this year. This is the first time we've had them in our league. We played them last year. It was a non-league affair. Ashland was 5A school, and now they play 4A football in the special district here with us, and this is, in fact, a league game.
Teams back out on the field now. Trips right for Henley with one out to the left. Whitlock on the right, on the left side of Janney. Whitlock gets the handoff, goes up the middle. He's got the first down.
Logan does so many things, so many intangibles you don't think about with a running back. That time he was going down before the first down marker, but he used his hand to prop himself up and give him that extra, just kind of lunged forward to pick up the first down. Well done.
Gets Henley up to the 40, their own 40, with a fresh set of downs. Trips right, one to the left. Whitlock on the left side of Janney. Janney back to throw. Pump fakes, unleashes it down the left side. Bennett, it was off his hands. He might have been headed out of bounds anyway.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think even if he had caught that, the ball was thrown a little wide out of bounds, but that was a pass all the way. 2-step drop, a little hitch pattern, and that was a deep attempt. Coach Paschke calling that up. Looking to go deep. It'll be 2nd down 10.
7:42 to go in the second quarter. Whitlock gets the handoff, and he's wrestled down for a loss. It was Caden Gardner bursting through the line.
Yeah, Caden Gardner got on the other side of that Henley offensive line in a hurry. Picked up a tackle for loss right there. And we're looking at 3rd down and 12 for the Hornets.
Second time Whitlock has been brought down for a loss tonight. 3rd and 12 now for Henley. Trips right, one to the left. Whitlock on the right side of Janney. Janney back to throw. It's a screen pass. Chris Janney takes it up to almost to the 50, just short of the first down.
Cohen Redmond with a nice block on that pass play downfield, but not quite enough for the first down. So 4th and 3. Will the Hornets go for it near midfield? Janney will punt from his quarterback position, so.
Henley still talking to the sideline. They're missing a man.
They are. They're at a timeout, so they have to hustle someone out there.
I think Ashland might have been missing a man too. You get the punt off, and it's way out of bounds.
He didn't quite put that one where he wanted to. I think he was aiming for the sideline, but it kind of sailed out a little quicker than he wanted. And Ashland's going to get the ball somewhere near their own 30 after the punt. Ashland defensively taking a few more chances. I noticed they've been blitzing some of their linebackers, and it's been helping them defensively. And they were able to force Henley into a punt there.
(20-7). Henley, 6:40 to go, and Ashland's first down throw is incomplete.
They like those 5 to 7 yard routes. For the most part, those receivers have been open. That time ball thrown just a little beyond the reach of Marcelo Satarin. It falls incomplete, brings up second down.
6:39 to go in the second quarter. Henley with a 20-7 lead. 2nd and 10. Two receivers to the right, one to the left. Man comes in motion. Harrower will take it himself, and he is wrapped up for a loss. And he faked the handoff twice. Tried to run it himself to the left side, but...
That was a good open field tackle by Kyle Nichols. There is a flag. And we'll see if Henley accepts this or not.
I would have to think so.
I think there was no gain on that play, but they may take the yards here. We'll see.
Looks like they will.
Yep.
So that'll make it 2nd and 20.
Yeah, there's a lot of green out there for Harrower, and Kyle Nichols closed the gap and made a good tackle. He's kind of on an island out there. How do you miss that tackle? Could have been a big gainer. Good defensive play.
$6:16 to go in the second quarter. 2nd and 20 for Ashland. Flag comes in as the throw out to Gavin White gets up to the 30.
There's that short route again. It's always seems to work out for Ashland, but another penalty. In the first quarter, we had a lot of scoring. Second quarter, we had a lot of flags. It seems to be the case here tonight. We haven't had any scoring here in the second quarter. And play's gotten a little bit sloppy. And that'll push Ashland back to a 2nd and a mile. A long way to go.
$6:05 to go. 25 for Ashland. Harrower, short rollout, throws down to Gardner. Harrower, short rollout, throws down to Gardner. Gets up to the about the 30 or closer to the 25, really.
2nd and 25, so Henley kind of let that underneath stuff go. They're going to give him 7 or 8 yards on those plays. They just don't want anything deep, nothing behind them. That brings up a 3rd and 15.
Two receivers on either side for Harrower. He's got Gavin White on his left. He drops back. Steps up in the pocket, deep down the field, and just barely missed Caden Negro. He was trying to lay out for it. But kind of like a center fielder, just kind of misplaying the ball. Let that one get away from him.
And we saw that was quite a play from Harrower. He had pressure that time. Henley did a nice job actually getting pressure on him, but he stepped up in the pocket just like a quarterback supposed to do. Side of the field, clear to just right in front of where we are. He probably threw that ball 45 yards.
Easily the best quarterback Henley has faced so far this season. I mean, he came into this game having thrown for 388 yards and 7 touchdowns with 1 interception in the first 2 games. Just under a 68% completion percentage as the punt is caught by Bennett at the 40. He's got blockers. He's across midfield and into Grizzlies territory. Great return by Luke Bennett. And Henley should have another short field here.
Luke Bennett showing us one of his specialties once again, running back that punt. Really flipped the field there for Henley. Good long run back. And they'll get to start inside their 30, it looks like, just outside the 30. Just over 5 minutes to play here in the first half. And the Hornets hanging on to that 13-point lead.
First and 10, Henley on the Ashland, call it the 33. Two receivers to the right, one to the left. Handoff goes to Whitlock. Whitlock with a burst of speed, and he's forced out. And will that be enough to move the chains? It's hard to tell from this angle. And it will. Just barely gets up to the 20.
It's a nice 10-yard gain. You know, Henley receivers, they're just taught to block, and they block very well. You don't see many penalties out there. Just a simple push, get him out of the way for Logan to turn that corner.
So Henley in the red zone, up 20-7 with 4:45 to go in the half. They give it to Whitlock again. Sidesteps a tackle, sidesteps a defender, and gets down to the 10.
Boy, you're not kidding. He sidestepped. He really made people miss on that run. He probably changed directions 3 or 4 times. And he just gets closer and closer to that end zone. It's 1st and goal for the Hornets.
Inside the 10, on the 8. Trips right, one to the left. Empty backfield. No, the Wildcat formation is back with Whitlock at the quarterback. Takes the direct snap and down to the 1.
That formation's worked for Henley. They just snap it right to Whitlock. Directly from center. And then he just takes it one way or the other. And that puts the ball right near the goal line, 2nd down.
They keep the same formation. Whitlock, direct snap, jumps over the defender, and he's in for the touchdown. His 3rd rushing touchdown of the night, 4th total. With 3:52 to go in the first half. Gives Henley a 26-7 lead, pending the Jaime Pisano PAT. Kick is up, and it's good. That's the first successful PAT for Henley tonight.
You know, that Wildcat formation works well for the Hornets because it gives you a different look for the defense to have to study for, but also when Whitlock takes the snap directly, kind of gives him more of a field of vision. He can kind of pick his hole, and he's very good at finding where the seam is quickly, and then he gets right through there. And he's had 3 Wildcat carries. I think one was for a conversion possibly, and then one for a touchdown. So that's worked well for Henley tonight, and they extend their lead to 20 points. They lead 27-7.
3:52 to go in the first half. Well, we talked about, what a test this would be for Henley. Is Ashland much improved from last season. And they're really on an upward trajectory as a whole. 0-8 in 2021, 2-7 last year, 2-0 so far this season.
Yeah, they have some talent, and I think they can score. Henley's done a nice job defensively once again, making the right adjustments. And in the second quarter, really doing a nice job stopping that Ashland offense.
3:52 to go in the second quarter. Henley now with a 27-7 lead as Jaime Pisano boots that one into the end zone for a touchback.
Another good deep kick. Ashland will start at their own 20 once again.
JoJo Harrower and the Grizzlies offense now in a 3-touchdown hole.
Ashland really hasn't had the benefit of good field position at all night. Henley's either had punts or ended long drives, and it's made a long field for the Grizzlies. And they'll have to go 80 yards here if they want to get on the scoreboard.
Empty backfield for Harrower. He's got 2 receivers to the right, 3 to the left. Steps up in the pocket. He's going to take off with it. He slides, or really is kind of forced to slide. There's 2 defenders on his back, but does get up to the 30. So it'll be 2nd and 4.
That was Iverson that chased him down. Good job by Matt. He put pressure on the quarterback, then found his way back, makes a tackle. Good pursuit.
Same formation. This time he finds Saturn over the middle, and Saturn is up almost to the 50.
Yeah, Bennett was the last man back to make that tackle. Big gain. He just ran right across the middle of the field, just a slant, and he was wide open.
First and 10 for Ashland at their own 48. 3 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Another quick throw out to Negra, and Negra muscles his way down to the Henley 40. That's going to be another first down.
He's pushed out by Cole Davis, but another good gain. And that's what you have to worry about when a team like Ashland's behind. They're down 20, but they start slinging the ball around, they can make up that deficit quickly.
They put the ball on the Henley 37. And now we have a whistle.
Whistle, but no flag.
Henley has no timeouts yet. The referees are no timeouts left, excuse me. The referees are going to confer. Are they discussing the spot?
Yeah, I think maybe just the spot and the clock. I don't think
Clock reads 2:55 left in the second quarter.
I didn't see a penalty though, so
Henley trying to hold on to their 27-7 lead. And now the referee looks like he's telling Matt Iverson he has to come off. I'm not sure what that was about. Same formation, Harrower back to throw, looking, rolling right, in trouble, just throws it away. Henley sideline wants an intentional grounding.
Yeah, there was nobody over there. Justin Elbert applying the pressure that time. And I'm not sure if he was outside the tackles. That could have been grounding. But there was no call.
I think Harrower might have been telling the ref, I had a receiver over there.
Yeah. That's 2nd down and 10 on the incompletion.
So looks like 2 receivers to the left, or receiver and tight end. No, 2 receivers to the left, receiver and tight end on the right. Harrower throwing over the middle, off target for Colin Lawrence.
2 behind Colin on that one. He ran a little post pattern through that Henley defense. He is pretty well covered. So it's 3rd down and 10. The ball is just inside the 40, so probably 2 down territory. They probably have 2 downs if they need them to pick up the first. With 2:44 here in the half. Ashland would definitely like to get some points on the board before the intermission.
3rd and 10. Ashland on the Henley 37. Harrower rolls to the left, lets it go, and it's caught for the first down, down near the 20. And that's Saturin. Marcelo Saturin.
They have a number of good receivers. They really do. They spread them out on both sides, and you got to be careful. They can move the football.
Listed as a tight end, 6'2", 200 pounds. From the 25, Harrower over the middle, tipped. Not intercepted that time, although Janney was close.
Yeah, Gardner had his hands on it, and he kind of gave the old all shucks motion after that pass. It was a good throw, right on the money. Just that happens sometimes. Ball slipped to the ground, and that brings up a 2nd down. Harrower is a very competent quarterback. We're seeing that tonight. He puts the ball where he needs to, Makes a lot of good throws and strong arm.
Yeah, he's a junior, 3-year starter. Now he takes it, rolls right, being pursued. Quick throw to Caden Gardner, and that's going to be short of the first down marker, but it'll get Ashland up to the Henley 19.
Caden makes the grab that time. Sometimes it's good to go right back to your receiver. He'll make the catch. It'll be third down, third and about 3.
2:20 to go in the half. Henley with a 27-7 lead. Empty backfield for Harrower. Quick throw. It's White. Flag comes in. This first down might come back. Yeah, it will. That's a holding called against Ashland.
Yep, there's a reason he had time to throw that time. There was a hold back there, so good aggressive defense by the Hornets. The more pressure they can apply, the better off they're going to be. You just can't give him all day back there. And that was a good effort from the Hornet defense there. And that makes 3rd and 3 into 3rd and 13. A lot more difficult situation here for the Grizzlies.
It's a little hectic on the Henley side as they try to get some defensive subs on. Same formation for the Grizzlies. Harrower looking, stepping up, throwing. It's caught down at the 10-yard line. Gavin White was open, and JoJo Harrower just dimed it to him.
Yeah, that was a nice route. That time he just kind of was headed toward the middle of the field and just looked for space, and he just sat there, turned around and faced his quarterback and made the catch.
Same formation. Harrower. There were Henley defenders in the area. Now the referees are conferring. They're going to throw the flag. That's intentional grounding.
And you can give that. Cohen Redmond is playing very well tonight. He was all over Harrower there. Didn't get the sack, but forced him to throw a poor pass and draw a penalty. And now we've got another late flag.
Harrower seems to be in some discomfort. He had his hands on his hips. He bent over. Maybe he was just reacting to the call.
The far official back in the back of the end zone threw this last flag, so he saw or heard something he did not like. Let's see what we have here. Yeah.
So it's an unsportsmanlike against Ashland. So now both sides have traded unsportsmanlikes.
Yeah, that's what you hate to see. When frustration sets in, it's hard, but you just have to stay calm. And when you don't, it's going to cost you some yards. And I think it's 2nd and goal from the 29. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay. A long way.
Not a down and distance you see very often.
No.
And it's not like this has been a chippy game either. I guess referees just, kind of policing the mouths of the players a little bit.
Yeah, we haven't seen anything as far as aggression toward each other. I think it's all been verbal things. But it's still, man, they're marching. They're adding
back even further.
Yeah, they're adding on they didn't spot the ball correctly. They're adding on now the unsportsmanlike conduct 15 yards. So now, there's that 2nd and goal from the 41.
This feels like now this feels like a down and distance you see on no context college football. Two receivers to the left, one to the right. Harrower. Short throw to Gardner. Gets a bit of it back. Out to the 33.
Henley just playing that. They're playing deep. They're going to let you have anything 4 or 5, 6 yards downfield. So that brings up 3rd and
a minute and 25 to go. 3rd and goal for Ashland from the Henley 33. Several men getting set in the Grizzlies' backfield. Harrower all alone back there. Has to scramble. Lets it fly. Oh, what a catch by Negra. Wow. down to the 12.
That was a exceptional catch. Carpenter was right there. Perfect coverage. That ball, that's just because we mentioned earlier how tall the receivers are. He had a little size advantage out there, and he stretched his arms as high as he could, caught the ball right at the top, and was able to keep his toes in bounds. That was a textbook catch for a big gain, but it still brings up a 4th down.
Yeah, we mentioned the height of the Ashland receivers. Caden Negra, 6'3", listed at 185 pounds.
And those arms were as far out as they could go. He made a nice fingertip grab. That was a great catch.
Tail of the tape with him and Mark Carpenter. 6'1", 165 is Carpenter, but
he doesn't give up much height, but
man,
that was a nice catch. So what do you do here? You got a 4th down and goal from the 12. So Ashland trails by 20. Field goal probably not going to do the trick. They're probably going to go for something here in the end zone.
You have to think so. 1:04 to go, trailing 27-7. I see little reason not to go for it here if you're Ashland. You know, there is always the take the points argument, but a field goal would cut it to 17. You get a touchdown, you can cut it to 13.
Well, they've had their time to discuss on the sideline. We'll see what they come up with. Looks like they'll go from scrimmage.
2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Gavin White on the left hip of JoJo Harrower. Caden Gardner, tight end, moves from the right side to the left side. Harrower rolls left, throws, caught, dropped. And a flag comes in. Now we see a little bit of chippiness there on the far side after, I'm sure what Ashland feels was a late hit. Receiver kind of got drilled out of bounds as he dropped the ball. Henley player is down on the field. Looks like he's just cramping up.
That was a good throw. Harrower showing us some textbook quarterback play. He was rolling hard to his left, but before he threw the ball, he set his feet, made a strong throw, just threw a dart. It was right on the money. I'm not sure if he would have scored. He was about the receiver was at about the 2-yard line when he tried to attempt that catch. It was incomplete, and the officials are discussing the penalty. So
it will be Henley ball no matter what. Any flag was after the play. Well, we may have put on our first announcer jinx of the season. I said earlier it hadn't really been chippy, but well. So personal foul.
There's a couple of them. Ashland's frustrations just setting in a little bit, and it's causing them to lose control of the game just somewhat. That was an emotional play. It was 4th and goal, and they didn't get it. And now the officials, we're having a major conference out there. They're talking to both teams. Here we go with the call. Let's see what we have. Now he's talking to Coach Stork.
So, yeah, we're still not entirely sure. So, okay. Personal foul against Henley. Dead ball unsportsmanlike against Ashland. And that appears to be the extent of it.
All after the pass was dropped. So, I believe Henley will take over on downs. They will get the football.
They will, and they will get it at their own 21.
There's a lot of paperwork involved in that little series right there. Get back to some football here in a second.
Yeah, we're already an hour and a half into this game, and we have not reached halftime.
Started off with a flurry of scoring. 27 combined points in that first quarter. Just 7. here in the second quarter. Henley has a touchdown. And now they've got 58 seconds to decide what to do here.
He had 2 rushing touchdowns and a kickoff return touchdown in the first quarter. Had another rushing touchdown in the second.
Yeah, Logan's showing us why he's arguably the best running back in the state. Man, we saw it all, too. We saw his ability to shift and cut back and forth. We saw his speed in the open field. We saw him use his strength. And does a nice job following his blockers. I'm really impressed with blocking downfield. I mentioned this a lot last year. The success of his running game, he gets those super extra long runs because of downfield blocking. If you make one block and quit what you're doing, you're going to pick up 7, 8, 9, 10 yards. It's those downfield blocks that really springs him loose. And then along with his speed and his nose for the end zone, that's where he gets those long touchdowns. So Henley running game is often running. And they had another good offensive half, 27 points.
JoJo Harrower has the lone touchdown for Ashland on a pass to Caden Negra. And Caden Negra has made a couple of great catches so far tonight in that touchdown. He caught it in the back corner of the end zone, and just towards the end of the half, he had a tremendous catch, basically full extension to high point the ball and keep both feet in bounds as he fell out close to the 10, but Ashland was unable to make anything of it.
Right, that Henley defense, they really made some nice adjustments, and that's what I'm most impressed with them in that first half. Henley adapted to a lot of different scenarios. This game hasn't really gone like the first two. A lot of penalties, some chaos, a lot of unsportsmanlike penalties mixed in there. And then they had to deal with that passing game. Ashland had the momentum for just a short time, and Henley was able to put the brakes on that, and outside of that one touchdown, held them scoreless for the rest of the half. So good defensive effort, although a little different than we've seen. Some nice adjustments and some nice play from the Hornet defenders.
So we've got a lot of other games going on tonight around the area. Lost River is hosting Camas Valley. Bonanza is playing Myrtle Point. Klamath Union is at Hidden Valley.
Another league contest there.
So we will take a break. We'll try to get you some scores on those. Matt Bowling here alongside Kevin Petrik. You're watching Henley football on mybasin.com, listening on 104.3 and 960 Sports.
COVID, I gained over 24 pounds. I lost motivation in working out. I lost motivation in eating healthy. And for me, if I'm not active, I just don't eat well. But then I started taking a class at Harbor's gym called High Low. The first week I felt like I didn't fit in and I couldn't do it. But the instructor was so kind and thanked me for coming and told me how well I did. I was like, no, I wasn't, but it made me come back the next week and the next week. And soon enough, I was keeping up with the class. I started introducing more classes and then going Saturdays. I learned how to lift weights accurately with repetition. I started lifting on my own. I started golfing too with my husband. And all of a sudden, I was buying salads instead of sandwiches. Small victories happened week by week, and it's 100% because of Harbor, their staff, their gym, the golf. My husband is getting out of the house and working out with me. His golf game is increasing, we're lifting together, and we feel good. Harbor, where I lost my reins and got my gains.
Down between Merrill and Malin. Lost River leads that one 38-8 over Camas Valley. That's in the third quarter. If we get more updates, we'll let you know.
Yeah, Mazama is also in action.
They're at Marist and Eugene tonight, I believe.
Yeah, they're playing. That's their final non-league matchup. And with 4:52 left in the third quarter, Marist Catholic has a 21-13 lead over the Vikings.
Yeah, Marist always a tough out.
I'll tell you what, Mazama, though, I mean, they've won the past 9 league titles, but they don't look quite as dominant this year. You have to think the door might be open, looking at the way that Henley and, even Ashland have played.
Yeah, well, we would hope so, but we know better. We've seen too many seasons come and go. I think by the time league comes around, Mazama's going to be just fine. They played some tough teams. They played the defending state champs in week 1, and they're at Marist tonight. So we'll keep an eye on Mazama, but I wouldn't count them out. I think they've got a good club.
They're certainly getting plenty of close game experience.
Yep.
I mean, they needed a last-minute touchdown to win it against Estacada in week 1. And then last week, they had to go 3 overtimes at Eagle Point.
Yeah, they've had some excitement. And our games, well, we've had a little easier so far. Here through 2.5 games. Henley leading tonight 27-7. We're at halftime.
Yeah, we mentioned Logan Whitlock with 4 touchdowns. The Henley defense has also forced 2 turnovers, fumble, and an interception. Both of those came in the first quarter.
Yeah, when you win the turnover battle, you're going to win some games. And Henley's done a nice job taking care of the football. They have very few turnovers through 3 games, and that's why they've had such good margins of victory. So taking care of the ball and moving the ball, that's going to be a good combination for sure. At halftime, you have to think they're going to just try to make sure that they're prepared for Ashland's passing attack, because down 20, Ashland really have not much of a choice. They've got to come out and they've got to score some points in a hurry to get back in this game. So they're going to want to throw the football, and they have the people to do it. As long as Harrower gets a little bit of time, his receivers are very skilled downfield. But Henley did a nice job of applying pressure. I think that's the key once again in this half. The more those Henley defenders can get back there into the quarterback's face, make it a little more difficult for him, and make him throw when he doesn't want to throw, that's going to help Henley out. So Cohen Redmonds played very well for Henley, of note. Justin Elbert as well, putting pressure on Harrower tonight in the first half.
About 5:29 to go on the halftime clock. Still trying to find some other scores from around the basin. You know, Cross Point Christian and Chiloquin played last night. Cross Point Christian won that game 65-28, if I have that score correct.
We have a lot of 8-man football teams down here, and they score a lot of points. We have some good teams, so not surprised by those scores in the 60s. Lost Rivers added another touchdown. They lead now 45-8 over Camas Valley, just south of here.
I'll tell you what, they have looked really, really good. You have to consider them at this point, I think, the favorite to repeat as state champions. I believe they are number 1 in that 1A8 coaches poll.
Right. Yeah, and they've played a pretty tough preseason too. So before their league kicked in, they played some top teams. So I think they're tested. They should have a good season.
So just over 4 minutes on the halftime clock. Be sure to stay tuned after the game, as we will have an interview with our player of the game, who at this point figures to be Logan Whitlock.
Logan gets a lot of opportunities, and he'll be the first to tell you he's not doing it by himself out there. But he does have skills, and he's really, really put them to use early in the season. I think Henley's surprising some people. Not that they wouldn't be good. I think we all felt they had a chance to be good this season, but just how quickly. I mean, they have just from the first snap of the first game, they haven't really had that time that most teams need to kind of get new players involved, get some kids who haven't played varsity before, get them in the game, get them some experience. It just seemed they started a season like none other I've seen. Just right from the get-go, they are scoring the ball efficiently. They're playing strong defense. The veterans playing very well, and the newcomers, they just fit right in. And I commend the coaching staff and the off-season work by the kids. I know they work hard in the off-season, and it definitely pays off in September.
No doubt about it. I misread the Cross Point Christian Chiloquin score earlier. It was 64-25. Cross Point Christian won. Warriors looking good. Jim Johnston is back as head coach after 2 years away.
teams are just about set to come back and warm up for the second half. Ashland brought a pretty good contingent over. You can see them on the far side of the field. But the Henley sideline, once again, full. Henley supporters, they like their football here in Klamath Falls. And we've had good weather. And once again, we've got full bleachers.
We'll take one more break. Second half on the other side. Matt Bowling here alongside Kevin Petrik. You're listening to Henley Football on 104.3 and 960 Sports and watching on mybasin.com. All right. Welcome back. We are just a few more minutes away from the start of the second half here at Henley. They're going through warm-ups now. Henley will receive the kickoff to open the second half.
So we talked a little bit about what Henley needs to do in the second half. Now, if you're Ashland, what did they talk about in the locker room? Well, I think they were most successful when they took chances defensively, when they blitzed and they tried to anticipate maybe where the ball was going. That's a little risky, but when you're down 20, you have to find a way to stop that Henley offense, because the Henley offense they're just having their way with defenses this year. The running game is so strong, and then when they have to throw, that's also been efficient. Joe Janney's done a nice job. His receivers on the outside. So I think if Ashland they need to play more discipline, fewer penalties, they need to play a little more clean. There's a lot of chaos going out there. They can kind of clean things up a little bit, take some chances on defense, and try to stop Henley. They can find their way back in this game with their passing game. But if Henley can continue their dominance on offense, it could be a long second half for Ashland. If you're just joining us, we're at halftime here at Henley for their second home game of the season. Henley leading 27-7 over the visiting Ashland Grizzlies. And we've been treated to another good night of football, weather-wise. We all know sometimes it can get a little crazy weather-wise, but we haven't had to deal with that yet. No wind, not too cold, no precipitation, and a lot of good football, especially if you're a Henley fan. Things have gone the Hornets' way this season. They're ranked number 3 in the OSA poll. That's the numbers formula poll. Still a little bit early in the season for that to be a reliable poll, but Henley's right there at 3. Ashland is actually ranked 4th in that same poll. So you have a couple of top teams here in the state. If you look at the mid-major media poll online, Henley's number 2 in that poll.
Yeah, Henley's also up to number 3 in the coaches poll. They got a first place vote.
Yeah, so Henley's skyrocketing right up the polls, all 3 polls.
All right, we are just about ready to start the second half as Teddy Williams gets set to kick off for Ashland. And it's fielded from the 10 by Luke Bennett. He's got some space, breaks up the right side. Luke Bennett to midfield. He might house this. He's got one man to beat. Oh, he's forced out at the 20. But a huge return to start the second half from Luke Bennett.
Another nice run from Luke. And he had just one man to beat. Clear down to the goal line. So he'll get stopped at just inside the 20. That's a nice run back off the opening kickoff of the second half. And Henley, once again, rolling. 1st and 10.
$11:47 to go in the third quarter. Henley with a 27-7 lead. And they start in the red zone. 1st and 10. One receiver out to the left, 2 to the right for Joe Janney, who's got Whitlock on his right side, and we've got a flag.
That didn't take long.
Delay of game. Looks like that's the call. It'll put Henley back 5 yards, so that'll make it a 1st and 15.
Things were going pretty smoothly in that first quarter for both teams, and since then, a lot of penalties, a lot of mistakes.
First and 15. Hand off to Whitlock. Breaks left and tackled after a gain of close to 10. It'll make it 2nd and 7.
Yeah, he got about half of that back. That was a nice gain. Just veered off to that left side, found a little bit of room. Bring up 2nd down and 7.
One to the left, trips right. Hand off to Whitlock. Tries to go left again. Picks up 3 more.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of room there. He ran into a trio of Ashland defenders on that left side. Really had nowhere to go. Able to pick up 3. That brings up a 3rd down on the Hornets' opening drive of the second half.
Third and 5, trips right, 1 to the left. Whitlock on the right side of Janney. Janney throws. Receiver slipped but made the catch, and he's got the first down.
That was a nice first down pickup by Henley. A lot going on there. I like how Janney looked to his left, made a real good concerted effort to look and fake a throw to his left, then turned back and threw to his right, completed the pass. Enough for the first down.
It's Mark Carpenter on the reception on the far side.
He did a good job stretching for that first down.
So now it looks like they're going trips left, 1 to the right. Whitlock on the right side of Janney. They give it to Whitlock. He goes left, and he is in for the touchdown. 5 touchdowns on the night for Logan Whitlock.
Well, that time, that was just a simple, that formation, he had 3 receivers to the left side, and they all just went downfield and blocked, and they just made a wall for Logan. That's just how you want to execute that play. And he stepped right in. Quick touchdown, less than 2 minutes. Henley scores.
Pisano's PAT is good, so it's 34-7 Henley with 10:01 to go in the third. Matt Bowling here alongside Kevin Petrik. You're listening to Henley Football on 104.3 and 960 Sports and watching on mybasin.com.
Threads. There are many threads that run through our region. There are churches and schools and little league teams that bring us together and bind us into communities. There are roads and cars. There are houses and jobs and businesses, all woven together to make the fabric of our communities. There are financial threads that are part of that tapestry as well. For over 80 years, it's been our pleasure to be headquartered here, providing financial services to generations of our friends and neighbors. From that first savings account, to retirement planning, and all of the cars and houses and groceries in between, we keep your money local, investing it back into our communities, adding more threads to the fabric to make our communities stronger. Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union. Find your path.
Down. Jaime Pisano's kickoff is fumbled. Gavin White has to go back into the end zone to down it for a touchback.
Well, things are just not going Ashland's way, to put it mildly. They needed to come out and try to get some kind of a spark, and Henley had a nice run back on that kickoff, put the ball in the end zone to extend their lead, and now a little mishap on the kickoff. So we'll see how Ashland gets their composure back here. I think that's important for this team. Things aren't looking great. You're down by a lot. How does your team react? We'll see how they do here.
So Ashland comes out with one receiver on the left, two to the right, plus the tight end. Now Gardner motions out to the left side. Harrower hands it off to White, and White is bottled up for a loss.
Good Henley defense. That was Kern in there. Making a stop. That's a loss. Loss of 1 or 2?
I'll call it 2. 2nd and 12. Ashland with 9:35 to go in the third quarter. Two receivers on either side for Harrower. He's got Gavin White on his right side. Tight end comes in motion. Harrower rolls right, throws to a wide open Marcelo Saturin for another big gain into Henley territory. Not quite into Henley territory, close to Henley territory. He up at the Ashland 45 before he stepped out of bounds.
The Ashland receiver is very good at navigating the sidelines. Another sideline route there. Got both feet in. Only need one, but he got both. A good throw and a good catch. And Ashland has a lot of complex formations, and they're having trouble sometimes finding their way into the right formation. But once they do, like that play there showed, it pays off. So they're all checking their wristbands now and calling plays, trying to make sure everybody's in the right spot. Been a lot of shifting and shuffling out there, but when they get it together, they're a good passing team.
Harrower throws incomplete off the hands of Caden Negro along the Henley sideline.
Another sideline route to this near side, and Carpenter had the good coverage there. That pass was not going to get caught, so it fell incomplete on the Henley sideline. Bring up 2nd down.
2nd and 10 for Ashland on their own 45. 9:05 to go in the third quarter. Henley leads 34-7. Two receivers on either side. Harrower. Quick throw out toward the Henley sideline, and it's complete to Negra. It'll be a gain of 6.
Carpenter pushed him out of bounds. And Henley defense here, they're kind of in a comfortable spot. I think they found where they want to be. Being up 34-7. They're kind of they're allowing those short routes and those short passes. They'll give up 3 or 4 or 5 yards. They're just trying to make sure they don't get beat deep, keeping everything in front of them. and it's been working so far.
3rd and 4 on the Henley 49 for Ashland. Harrower steps up in the pocket, tries to direct traffic. No time to get the pass off. Brought down right at the line of scrimmage. Looks like that was
Kyle Nichols, I believe. Kyle did a good job. That play was strung clear out. Harrower did have a lot of time, but give a little credit to that defensive backfield for the Hornets. Those receivers were covered. He had nowhere to go. That gave Nichols time to come in and make the tackle. So a good total team defensive play puts Ashland in a 4th down situation.
Grizzlies will punt from their own 35. Bennett watches it bounce to the 20 and roll down to the Henley 5. So a pretty nice kick there by Jacob Ortega to pin the Hornets close to their own end zone.
That was a nice kick. I think this is the worst field position the Hornets have seen. Having to start pretty deep. I think they're going to spot that. We're about the 6. So a good punt from Ashland. And the Henley offense comes back on the field. They scored on their first possession of this half. And they're set to start their second.
8:41 to go in the 3rd. Henley with a 34-7 lead. 2 receivers on either side for Joe Janney. Hand off to Whitlock. Whitlock goes right, trying to escape tacklers, but he's spun down around the line of scrimmage. Well, just past the line of scrimmage, actually.
Took a couple of Grizzlies to get him down, but they finally did after a pickup of about 4.
Second and 6. Clock approaching 8 minutes to go in the 3rd. Trips left for Henley. One receiver out to the right. Janney, designed run out to the left side. Gets around a tackler and trips out of bounds at the 20, but he's got the first down.
A nice pickup. Almost 15 yards. As he scrambled to the near side of the field, he's quick. He made up a lot of ground in a hurry, and another first down for Henley. Henley's very good at finishing games, and I think they feel like this lead will be enough. So I don't expect to see them snap the ball in a hurry anytime soon. They'll probably use the whole play clock the rest of this game. So the pace and the tempo is going to slow way down when Henley has the football.
Fresh set of downs for the Hornets. Hand off to Whitlock. Shakes a tackler. Shakes another. Carries one out of bounds with him up to the 30.
Another nice carry on first down. That's a big advantage for Henley. Being able to pick up 5 to 9 yards on first down makes it a lot easier as an offensive coach to call plays when you have 2nd and short, 3rd and short. And Henley's been doing that all night long. Very successful on first down.
2nd and 3 for the Hornets from their own 30. 7:15 to go in the 3rd. They lead 34-7. Whitlock takes the handoff, muscles his way up the middle, and they'll give him the first down.
Whitlock, a lot of carries tonight. You're doing a lot of work out there. I'm sure he wants to be out there the whole game, I have a feeling. He may be in 1 or 2 more series before we see some more personnel. Henley taking their time, getting up to the ball.
Fresh set of downs at their own 34. 6:44 on the clock in the 3rd quarter. Whitlock, another handoff, dancing up the middle into the secondary. And he'll move the chains again. Up to the 44-yard line.
That one almost looked like slow motion to me. The defense just couldn't find him. He was already through the first and second wave until they were able to tackle him. So another first down carry for Logan.
From the 44-yard line, 1st and 10, 6:15 on the clock in the third quarter. Another handoff to Whitlock. This time he goes on the right side. Whitlock is close to another first down. Might not have quite gotten there. It'll be 2nd and 3. Under 6 minutes to go in the third quarter. Henley up 34-7.
I think Henley's speed and conditioning is just taking a toll on Ashland. Ashland, some of their players have their hands on their hips, a little slower than they were in the first half, and Henley's looks strong here in the third quarter.
Janney takes it, has the first down around the left side.
Joe likes to run to his left. I don't know why that is, but it works. He's had a couple good carries that direction on this drive. And another first down. Henley's just taking their time, methodically calling the play, and picking up first downs one after the other here in this second half. They lead 34-7 with 5:32 left to play here in the third quarter.
On the Ashland 40. Janney faked the handoff and kept it himself, was upended after a short gain.
It almost looked like the ball was mishandled a little bit on that handoff, but Janney did end up with it.
Two receivers out to the right, one to the left. Quick throw out to the right side and almost dropped, but regathered. It'll go for no gain. Although just holding on to that ball there was a good job for Chris Janney.
Yeah, the reason he had trouble with that is Gavin White made a nice play on the ball. He kind of got there the same time the ball did. I was surprised Chris hung on to it. So, short gain, but good enough to complete the catch. It will bring up a 3rd down and 7 for Henley. Their first 3rd and long on this drive.
Trips left, one to the right. Whitlock gets the handoff. Out to the left side. Whitlock with plenty of room. Whitlock forced out inside the 10. An Ashland player is down.
Another long gainer for Logan Whitlock. Bryson Montag with a terrific block on the outside. And he sprung Logan for those extra yards. And Henley in a 1st and goal situation again. They're going to spot the football about the 7-yard line as they tend to a player. An Ashland player is down at about the 5. Receiving some attention over there, so we'll see how he is.
.405 to go in the third quarter, a 34-7 lead for Henley. And they are knocking on the door here with 1st and goal.
It's got to be difficult to scout Henley and come up with a game plan to stop their offense. It's just they do so many things so well, and they just score so quickly when they want to, and when they want to take time off the clock, eat the clock, and work the game in the second half, they do that as well. So we haven't seen a team figure it out yet. Henley's offense is a tough one to solve, and their defense just plays right along with them. And they're on the verge of their third blowout of this season, leading 34-7. Just over 4 minutes left to play here in the third quarter. And we're still looking at an Ashland player down near the Henley sideline at about the 5-yard line. I didn't see what happened.
Yeah, it was one of the guys who was in on the tackle of Logan Whitlock. You know, Whitlock, 5'8", 180 pounds. I mean, he's built like a tank. If he lands on you the wrong way, that can hurt. We'll get you a score update for Mazama. They're up 29-27 at Marist Catholic with 4:49 left in the fourth.
Lost River leads 52-14. I assume that game's in the fourth quarter at this point. So the Raiders look like they'll have an easy victory tonight at home.
I'll tell you what, Dennis Dunley, I mean, you look at his resume, I'm not quite sure what he has left to do. He's won state championships coaching both 11-man and 8-man football. He's coached now all of his sons. What a great career he's had at Lost River.
Yes, and he's been there a while. He's kept that program going for a long time, so a lot of success down there. And we have a stoppage in play here. We are attending to an injured Ashland player.
And he's being helped. He's sitting up now. And I don't see any kind of card out for him. They may try to help him off. You hope he's just kind of got the wind knocked out of him, and it's nothing more serious than that. And especially at this point in the game where it's more or less been decided.
Now he's starting to get up. Looks like he's going to be okay.
And that's Colin Lawrence of Ashland, able to walk off under his own power, which is certainly good to see considering how long he was down for. So with 4:05 to go in the third quarter, Henley will try to add to this 34-7 lead as they'll have a first and goal from about the 8-yard line. Well, scoreboard says 7.
So both teams have had a chance to talk for a bit here during the pause in play. So we'll see if Henley's drawn up something a little clever here on this first and goal situation. Teams are slow to get back on the field. The field's clear, but they haven't called the players back on yet. I'm not sure what the delay is at this point.
Yeah, neither am I. Here comes Ashland now.
Okay. You know, last week I bought a jacket. Didn't need it. Tonight, didn't bring one. Probably should have.
Yeah,
you'd think I'd know.
Same here.
I've only been here 50 years. You'd think I'd figure it out. But it's starting to get a little chilly tonight.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw it was, only supposed to get down into like the mid-60s by the time the game should have been over. So I thought, I'll just leave it. Handoff to Logan Whitlock, and he's right down to the goal line.
It's a good push. I know Coach Stork has talked about line play on both sides of the ball, offensively and defensively, as a point of emphasis. And Henley's line play, especially offensively, has been very good. Giving Logan Whitlock a lot of room to run tonight.
2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left for Joe Janney, who has Whitlock on his right hip. Gives it to Whitlock, goes up the middle, And touchdown number 6 on the night for Logan Whitlock. I mean, for really the third week in a row, I just find myself saying, what more can you say?
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of resistance on that drive. And they pretty much had their way. And they're controlling this football game. They lead 40-7. We're still in the third quarter with the extra point coming here. Looks like we'll go for 2.
That would make it 42-7, and that would give us a running clock, which quite honestly is long overdue.
I think that's the idea.
Oh, no.
A good play call.
Incomplete in the near corner of the end zone.
It's a good play call, a good little quick pass to the front corner of the end zone. But
Joe Janney was looking for Bryson Montag, unable to haul it in, so it's 40-7 in favor of the Hornets. Can we maybe just get the running clock anyway?
Yeah, we're just
2
points away from the OSAA rule.
It's 9:15, and there's still 3 minutes and 24 seconds to go in the third quarter. Quite a contrast to the first 2 games for Henley, which both wrapped up, I think, within 2 hours.
That's true. They were quick. See what Ashland does on their second possession here in the third quarter. Henley just taking a lot of time on that last drive. We're just over 3 minutes here now left in the third quarter.
So Pisano will boot it deep once again. Well, that one wasn't quite as deep. It's fielded close to the 20. Ortega still going, tackled close to the 35. Well, it seems to be reunion week here at Henley. I saw a sign welcoming back the class of 2013. And you have to think they're enjoying the recent run of success from the Hornets, because Henley was 12-27 during their 4 years as high schoolers.
Okay, you got some stats there. Not bad.
When the margin gets up into the 30s, that's when I kind of dig into my files a little bit.
Very nice.
Trips right, one to the left. Jake White on the right side, or Gavin White, excuse me, on the right side of Harrower, who launches one, and another great catch by Marcelo Saturin. Gets the Grizzlies.
They called him. They waved him.
Oh, wow.
You know what, though? I thought that was a catch. He had that 1 foot in there.
Yeah.
Another nice play.
Goodness.
They must practice that. Fundamentally, they are sound. They run great routes, have their hands in the right place. They extend to the high point. They have really good footwork. They have a good receiving crew. Just can't put it all together and execute the way they want, but they definitely can score. I can see them scoring against other teams in the league for sure.
No doubt about it. Fumbled the snap, Harrower did, and he has to dive on it, so that'll be a loss.
The referee helps him up. That's courteous. A little Klamath Falls courtesy. So I like that. I like that. The snap was right there, just a mishandle by Harrower. That will happen. And that puts them in a pretty bad situation. We're looking at 3rd and 18.
3 minutes to go in the third. Henley up 40-7. 2 receivers on either side. Harrower back to throw. Short throw, and Gavin White slipped. So he'll only make it back to the 30-yard line. And the Grizzlies will have to punt.
Wow, if you're watching on the live stream, he had a lot of room, a lot of green in front of him, and just an old-fashioned slip. Just fell on his own, and not much of a gain at all. Tough break for the Grizzlies, and They're in punt formation.
So Luke Bennett will set up at his own 25 as Jacob Ortega punts from the 15. Another bouncer comes down around midfield. Bennett picks it up and runs with it. And gains about 5 yards up to the 40.
I always laugh at that. I've been laughing at that for 2 years. Most people would just let that ball roll out and not pick it up. It's kind of dangerous play. Not Luke Bennett. He's picking it up and he's going to run. And you know what? I like that aggressive play. I always lean toward aggressive play. I think if you play conservatively or you hold back, I think it makes you susceptible to losing and not making your own breaks. So I admire that. And sure, if it takes 5 or 7 yards off the drive, there's nothing wrong with that. So well done again by Luke Bennett. It'll be 1st and 10 for Henley.
So Henley will start from their own 40 with 2:03 to go in the third, leading 40-7. Trips right, one to the left. Whitlock on the right side of Janney. Whitlock gets the handoff. Goes around the right side, creating space. And he's got the first down up at the 50. A flag comes in late. Henley players indicating that it's on Ashland. Referees seem to be indicating the same.
Ashland has had a second half they just want to forget. It's just been one tough break after another. And this penalty will go against them. And so Henley will get the ball in Grizzly territory.
15-yard penalty. I didn't quite catch the signal. Could have been a dead ball personal foul. Either way, it's trips left, with one to the right for Henley. Janney gives it to Whitlock. And down to the 30. Oh, that's not Whitlock, actually.
Is that Jeremiah?
That's
Brunick?
Jeremiah Brunick, yeah.
We saw him last week. I believe he hit the last play of the game. I think he had a long touchdown run. So he's getting some reps in there tonight. Good night for Whitlock. Big, big, big game.
5 rushing touchdowns, 1 kickoff return touchdown. I mean, he is just sensational. Brunick again runs it into the middle, and a nice tough run there.
That was a good strong run from Jeremiah. And I think he's beyond the first down marker. First down.
Brunick, a sophomore. You know, we talked to Logan Whitlock in the post-game interview as he was the player of the game last week, and he specifically mentioned Jeremiah Brunick as a guy who he's happy to see kind of fill his shoes after he's gone.
He's a sophomore.
Called him Jerry. And they hand it off to him again.
That was a good hit.
Good hit, but he's still picked up 5 going up the middle.
Absolutely a good run. Caden Gardner. He's still playing hard out there for Ashland.
Clock at 20 seconds to go in the third quarter, and it looks like Henley's just going to let it run out. So we will head to the fourth with Henley leading 40-7 and driving. Matt Bowling here alongside Kevin Petrik. You're listening to Henley Football on 104.3 and 960 Sports and watching on mybasin.com.
Not corporate. At Clown Falls Subaru, we built our business on that simple promise. Well, that and some of the best people you're ever going to meet. Hi, I'm Rob Cedar, General Manager at Clown Falls Subaru. Our 62 employees make it easy for us to live up to our comfortable, not corporate philosophy. Friendly faces, easy answers, straight talk, fairness, and exceptional service. These are the things you expect. These are the things that all of our people deliver. Our management team, sales pros, certified service and body shop techs, lot attendants, and detail experts are all 100% focused on you. Local people putting their friends and neighbors first. At Clown Falls Subaru, that's the only way we do business. It's comfortable, not corporate. Our team members also spend hundreds of hours each year supporting local charities and events through the Subaru Love Promise. That's the kind of people they are. We're very proud of them. They're your friends, they're your neighbors, they're glad to know you, and they want you to be glad to know them too. I'm Rob, and this is what makes us comfortable, not...
Two receivers on either side, as it looks like Joe Janney is still out there. 2nd and 6. Right about the 20. Hand off to Brunick. Brunick up the middle. And that'll bring up 3rd and... Well, a flag comes in, so hold off on the measurement.
But a lot of penalties tonight. Probably more tonight than the first 2 games combined, I would say. This time be against the Hornets, looks like.
They're waiting on the referees to move the ball. And it's on Henley, so that'll move them back to the 31-yard line, where it'll be 2nd and... hard to tell. 2nd and a long time, a long way. Handoff goes to Brunick. He tries to go around the right side, is forced out at about the 28.
Good experience for Brunick. He's getting a lot of carries here. Kind of learning what it's like to be the workhorse back in an offense like this. Have a lot of carries out there. And Henley working that clock. They're going to take their time.
Yep. We're going to call this 3rd and 14. 11-10 to go in the game. Henley with a 40-7 lead. Trips left, 1 to the right. Joe Janney still in at quarterback. Evades a sack. Runs out to the left. Janney going for the first down. Does he have it?
I think he does.
Oh, I think they're going to call him just short.
Is that a penalty or is someone lose a mouthpiece? Something yellow on
It
the
looks
field?
like a mouthpiece.
All right.
That doesn't look like a flag.
I'm glad. We've had enough penalties. So that was a nice run by quarterback Joe Janney. And he angled right toward that marker, but did not quite get there. So it'll bring up probably a 4th and a long one.
10:45 to go.
And they will go for it here.
One receiver out to the left, 2 to the right. And Henley's going to take a timeout. Well, if you kicked a field goal here, you could just go to the running clock.
That is true. That'd be enough.
Well, they've just announced here at Henley that Marist beat Mazama 33-29, and that got a nice cheer from the Henley crowd.
Another close finish for the Vikings. They've had a few of those.
First loss of the season, though, for the Vikings.
And the Henley offense is back on the field now after the timeout. Deciding what they want to do with this 4th and 1. Looks like they may try to kick this field goal. You got that one?
Maybe Alex Stork hurt us.
Yeah. It'd be just enough to get the running clock. I think both coaches at this point would would be happy with that. I think we've seen enough.
So Jaime Pisano looking at about a 33-yarder. It's up and no good. Wide right. So the running clock eludes us once again. It remains 40-7, Henley, with 10:42 to go in the fourth quarter. 2.5 hours into this ball game.
And they will look at this tonight. They'll look at the film, and I know Coach Stork's going to want to do a little bit better with his special teams. The field goals are important. The closer you get to the playoffs, and the more important the games are down the stretch. You're going to need that, and I'm sure they'll identify the problem and solve it. But the kicking game, as far as field goals and extra points, has not been what they're used to seeing. So they'll work on that.
Handoff to Gavin White. He's upended after a gain of 5. All the starters are still in for Ashland.
Kyle Nichols with a nice tackle. He's a good defender. He plays the defensive backfield. He'll play a little safety. He'll play some corner as well.
2nd and 5. 10:08 to go in the game. Ashland from their own 24, and a tackle for a loss immediately. The handoff had barely been completed. Let's see who that was bursting through the line. Looks like it might have been...
Was it Nolan Sieben?
Nolan Sieben,
Yep,
Number
that was Nolan.
40.
That was kind of a crazy defensive play because Henley was shuffling kids in and out, and no one really knew where they were supposed to be, and the one kid that did made a great play and made the tackle. So sometimes that's all you need. So good for him. 3rd and long here for Ashland.
2 receivers to the left, 3 to the right. JoJo Harrower going out to the right side to communicate with his receivers. And Ashland has to take a timeout. So here we are, 9 minutes and 10 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. Henley up 40-7. We will have an interview with, I think we can go ahead and give it to him, player of the game, Logan Whitlock, after the game, so be sure to stay tuned. But, I mean, looking at this game, this was supposed to be a major test for Henley. And, I mean, they made Crater really, or Ashland, excuse me. Well, I say Crater in part because they've made Ashland look like Crater and Seaside. I mean, it's been really more of the same in terms of just domination from Henley from what we saw in their first 2 games.
Yeah, they've been dominant, and they've been dominant from the start.
3rd and 9, Harrower rolling to the right, throws, and it's caught for a first down at the Ashland 35.
If there has been a bright spot for Ashland tonight, it is their passing game. That's their best chance of moving the football. And that was a nice pickup there, enough for a first down.
First down for the Grizzlies from their own 35. Harrower throwing over the middle. And was that intercepted?
It was picked off.
Looks like, let's see who it was. It was obscured by the receiver.
That was Jason Kern.
Jason Kern.
Yeah, we've called his name a few times tonight. He's made some nice plays. Good defensive player. That ball was just underthrown, and he was in the right spot. He had his head up, and good coverage, and he made the interception, made the catch.
Third turnover of the night forced by the Henley defense. That's the second interception on JoJo Harrower, who had come into this game with only one pick on the season. Now some more Henley fans starting to head out.
Henley had a lot of players back in coverage there, and when they do that, any missed throw or tip likely end up in an interception. A lot of interceptions for the Hornets this year.
Trapper Kundal is now in at quarterback for Henley as they come out with two receivers on either side working from the Ashland 44. 8:36 to go in the game, and timeout is called. Let's see, something wasn't quite right.
Yeah, when you get a whole batch of new players in there, sometimes it takes some organization. So I think that's what we're looking at right now. So Henley will get everybody lined up where they want them to be, and then they'll get some reps, and they can work on their game. So some important minutes for these guys, for this group out there right now. And they'll get their chance at a 1st and 10. Henley leads 40-7. We have 8:36 left to play.
Trips right, one to the left. Trapper Kundal hands it off to Brunick. Brunick shakes off a tackle in the backfield, bursts through for a first down and more. Jeremiah Brunick down to the 30.
Nice job stepping through tackles there. Kept driving his feet. Didn't give up on the play. Picked up a first down. Well done.
We'll spot it at the Ashland 28. Fresh set of downs for Henley. And now we have another stoppage. What's this one about? Oh, an Ashland player is down.
It's like where their defensive backs is down on the far side of the field.
Seems like I'm not sure what that was about. It's odd timing right before the snap. Looks like it's Jack Mawcourt. I hope he's okay. Hopefully maybe just caught a cramp. He's sitting up.
Yeah, he's just sitting up on that far side, talking to his coach.
Now they're going to help him up. And he limps off the field. So, yeah, maybe just a slight cramp is what that was. Certainly hope that's the case at least. So with 8:07 to go, Henley with a 1st and 10 on the Ashland 38, leading 40-7. Kundal hands it to Brunick, who runs it right up the middle, and another strong run by Jeremiah Brunick.
Yeah, some good line play from this Henley group. He had a big hole on that left side, and he made his way right through there. Picked up another first down. The running game from this group looking pretty good. They made their way into the red zone. 1st and 10.
Two receivers on either side. Another handoff to Brunick. That time he doesn't get super far going up the middle, runs right into the line. Still a decent gain. Call it 3.
Ashland defense doing a little better job. I think they have most of their second team in as well at this point. So a lot of new faces out there to finish up this game with 7 minutes to play.
Two receivers on either side. 2nd and 7. It's a designed run for Trapper Kundal, and he's got the first down. Turning the corner into the end zone. Touchdown, Henley. Welcome to the scorebook, Trapper Kundal. His first touchdown of the season, and it finally gets us to the running clock.
Henley's scheme with the quarterback runs is very good. If the defensive team does not have a spy or a player assigned to the quarterback, a lot of times they can have free reign if they can just get outside. And Janney's very quick, and Kundal there also showed he has some speed as he found the corner of the end zone on that run. So very nice play for the Hornets.
Well, they've even got the backup kicker in now. It's KJ Goff gonna come on for this PAT. Oh, he kicks it right into the line. But it's still 46-7 Henley. 6:29 to go in the game.
That was a line drive kick. Didn't quite make it over the line, so we'll stay at 46. I believe that was the score of the last game. Henley had 46, I believe. Is that correct?
They
46-7. They beat Crater, so that's the same score we have here.
Talk about deja vu.
It's consistency. We like that.
Nah, no doubt about it. And against a 5A school, no less.
Yeah.
So Henley will start league play 1-0.
Then they go back to non-league for a week. Next week they'll be at Cascade, and that Cascade's got a good team. That'll be a tough road task for the Hornets. I believe that's in Turner, Oregon. I haven't been there. I've been to a lot of cities around Oregon. I haven't been to Turner before to play Cascade, so that'll be fun.
Looking forward to that myself. 6:29 to go in the fourth quarter. Henley leads 46-7. And the kickoff is booted down to the 20. And it's fumbled. And it looks like Ashland was able to dive on it.
Ashland just continues to have just one of those nights. They're just having mistakes I know they don't normally make. Just some drop passes and some fumbles and
yeah, you know,
a rough time.
This was the first road game of the season for the Grizzlies. They played their first two at home, so that could have something to do with it. I know the trip down here to Klamath Falls, a lot of folks don't enjoy making it when they have to come play here. But still, I mean, this is it seems like every week is a statement win for Henley. As Jacob Ortega gets the carry for the first down up to about the Ashland 38.
Yeah, Ashland's keeping their first-team offense in there, and I can understand that. They want to get some reps here against a good team, work on a few things. They trail 46-7, but they want to run some plays, get some formation set. So we're seeing a lot of the same faces in there that started the ballgame.
From the 40. Gavin White with a nice run. Might be one of his longer runs this evening.
Yeah, I think he picked up the first. It should be close. Yep.
Just across midfield to the Henley 49. 4:40 to go in the game. Henley leads 46-7. Harrower throwing right side wide open is White. And he's going to take this one to the house. JoJo Harrower to Gavin White for a 49-yard touchdown.
I think that's just called the old-fashioned wheel route. He came out of the backfield, did a little loop toward the sideline, and he was unaccounted for. Harrower made a nice throw right on the line and sprinted in for the touchdown.
Gavin White with offers from Linfield and Pacific. He put up close to 300 yards of offense against North Eugene last week. Ran for 174 yards and a touchdown on 11 carries. Caught 3 passes for 109 yards and a touchdown. Henley's had him pretty well bottled up tonight.
Yeah, that first team, that just shows you how good the first team offense is. I mean, they really are. They really have skilled players, and their scheme's very good.
White gets the handoff on the 2-point conversion, and it's good. So that makes it 46-15. 3:27 to go in the game.
Yeah, Henley's done a nice job defensively. They've, just by chance, they've faced some pretty good opposition running backs and offenses in these first few weeks, and they've held them in check. So Henley's passed the test defensively through week 3.
Yeah, still, I mean, only 1 touchdown allowed by the first team defense through 3 games. I think that's something any team will take.
Absolutely. Excellent start to this 2023 season. Henley will go 3-0 after tonight's win.
Most importantly, as we said, 1-0 in league play.
They'll play that non-leaguer next week at Cascade we talked about. Then they will return to league play. They'll play Hidden Valley in 2 weeks. And that game will be right here in Klamath Falls.
Teddy Williams, it's a pooch kick, and Henley recovers it at their own 40.
That was well handled by Chris Janney out there. You want to just make sure you have a hand on it, make a clean catch, cover it up, let your offense come on the field. So the Henley second team now will take the field. They have just over 3 minutes.
See if they can add another late touchdown as they did last week. Trips right, 1 to the left for Trapper Kundal, who's got Jeremiah Brunick on his left hip. Brunick gets the handoff, goes right, has a hole, crosses the 50, and is spun down. Henley sideline wants a horse collar.
Yeah, he was pulled down from his shoulder pads, but we're going to let that go. Good run. He's a nice patient runner. He kind of takes his time. If there's traffic, he'll kind of wait for it to pass. He'll look, and then he'll change direction. He's a good running back. Backing up Logan Whitlock this year.
Clock's still running. Just over 2 minutes to go as they come back to the line. First down from midfield, trips left. 1 to the right. Kundal with Brunick on his right side. Gives it to Brunick, who tries to go up the middle. Runs into the line. It'll be a gain, very short gain, about 1.
Ashland in the right spot that time. Henley line play, as we mentioned earlier, very good tonight on both sides of the ball. Especially offensively. I just feel like they really execute their game plan the way that they want. They're very good at blocking downfield and continuing to the whistle. It's a good group.
2nd and 10, 1:15 to go. Kundal, the designed run, And he is brought down in the backfield. So
David Staten, that was a nice play. Staten in there, tackle for loss for Ashland.
That'll make it 3rd and 15 for what should be the final snap of this game, right? 40 seconds to go.
That should about do it. One more.
Hand it off to Brunick. Brunick tries to evade a leg tackle with a spin move. Isn't quite successful, but does turn it into a gain, and that will do it. Henley, 46, Ashland, 15. Another massive win for the Hornets, who just look absolutely tremendous through the first third of the season.
Yeah, I can't believe we got 3 weeks under our belt now. Only 3-0. First league victory tonight. Things looking great for this program.
We are going to take a break post-game on the other side. Matt Bowling here alongside Kevin Petrik. You're listening to Henley Football on 104.3 and 960 Sports and watching on mybasin.com. All right, so go get Logan and also tell Coach that I want to see him when he has a chance.
It was kind of what defined me as a person. I loved to play every sport I could possibly play. The Abbeys was really the family stomping ground for all of our community. Saturday afternoon soccer tournaments, we'd head over to Abbeys afterwards. And then when we got up into middle school, on our way home, we'd stop at Abbeys after basketball games. When I go home, I want to see 2 things when I drive through Winston. I want to see my Abbeys and I want to see my high school. And those are the 2 memories that stick out the most to me.
Thanks to Les Schwab tires, I'm a confident backseat driver, but Mom's a little stressed about spending. Remember, deep breaths and watch your speed. Even though we're watching our wallets, Les Schwab is still watching out for our safety. So turn here.
During the Les Schwab Founders Celebration Sale, save up to $150 instantly on select sets of 4 tires. Les Schwab tires, doing the right thing since 1952.
So lonely, I just sigh and moan. Seems like I've been waiting forever, wondering if you're coming home. I just saw your face, I know you're coming home. I swear there is no place home. And then I heard your voice. I know you're coming home. I know you're coming home.
This is where unconditional love and immeasurable happiness reside. This is home. Coldwell Banker, where home begins.
Welcome back to Hill O'Brien Field, where Henley wrapped up a 46-15 win over Ashland in their league opener. It was, really just another day of dominance for the Hornets.
Yeah, once again, they came out on fire, and they scored 20 first quarter points, and they really never looked back. The game wasn't really in question once that third quarter started with a long run back from the kickoff. Henley just comes out strong and just gets stronger as the game goes. Tonight, I actually may have seen a little conditioning. I think Henley's well conditioned. They didn't seem to get tired at all, and it looked like Ashland may have been slowing down a little bit in that late third quarter. So Henley's right where they want to be. Everybody's healthy. Everybody played well. A lot of minutes for the second team. So once again, here in week 3, another all-around good effort from the Hornets.
7 touchdowns for Henley tonight, 6 of which were scored by Logan Whitlock. He is, of course, our player of the game, and we will be hearing from him here in just a little bit as he makes his way up here from the huddle. But, I mean, gosh, 5 rushing touchdowns and a kickoff return touchdown. The other touchdown was scored on a run by Trapper Kundal. That's his first touchdown of the season. JoJo Harrower with 2 touchdown passes and 2 interceptions. I mean, he came into this game having thrown 7 touchdowns and 1 interception in his first 2 games. Just another huge night for the Henley defense.
Yeah, Henley defense has been playing great as a team. They have a good team defense. I think maybe that's where Ashland was held up a little bit. You could tell Ashland had some great athletes. They had some good players. They probably just don't have the depth that Henley does. They've got a full roster, and they even have some kids on the sidelines that could probably start elsewhere. So Henley's defense really coming together early in the season, and they don't give up much. They only gave up 7 tonight, and they didn't give up any in their first 2. So well done by the Hornets, and another huge win.
We're going to take a break. Logan Whitlock joins us next. You're listening to Henley, or you're watching Henley football on mybasin.com and listening on 104.3 and 960 Sports.
COVID, I gained over 24 pounds. I lost motivation in working out. I lost motivation in eating healthy. And for me, if I'm not active, I just don't eat well. But then I started taking a class at Harbor's gym called High Low. The first week I felt like I didn't fit in and I couldn't do it. But the instructor was so kind and thanked me for coming and told me how well I did. I was like, no, I wasn't, but it made me come back the next week and the next week. And soon enough, I was keeping up with the class. I started introducing more classes and then going Saturdays. I learned how to lift weights accurately with repetition. I started lifting on my own. I started golfing too with my husband. And all of a sudden, I was buying salads instead of sandwiches. Small victories happened week by week, and it's 100% because of Harbor, their staff, their gym, the golf. My husband is getting out of the house and working out with me. His golf game is increasing, we're lifting together, and we feel good. Harbor, where I lost my reins and got my gains.
Welcome back, and we welcome Logan Whitlock back to the booth as he is our player of the game once again, but well-deserved. 6 total touchdowns, 5 rushing, and a kick return touchdown. That's your first kick return touchdown of the season. Tell me kind of what you saw there and how it developed.
We have a scheme. You know, our coach Lucas, he's been working with us on this kick stuff, and he has a great game plan. And I just know, because I have 2 guys going to get those outside guys, I just know as soon as they hit them, I got a lane. I just got to shoot that gap, and I just got to get up out of there.
I mean, how huge was that, too? Because Ashland had just scored the touchdown to cut it to, I think, to 20-7. So how much of a spark was that in killing their momentum?
Oh, I mean, it was huge. As soon as I scored, you could just see them like, oh, well, we got to go right back to offense, see if we can do anything. But, you know, we were shutting them down, so I think that was pretty big.
I mean, you know, just when we think that you can't do much more than you're already doing, you score 5 rushing touchdowns plus that kickoff return touchdown. What's the ceiling for you?
I don't know. I haven't figured that out yet. Yeah, I still haven't played all 4 quarters, so we're going to figure that out hopefully sooner or later.
Do you, and I mean, you know, I'm half joking here, but do you worry about full game conditioning at all with all these breaks you're getting?
Not really, if I'm being honest. I see, like, you know, I get that second win. I come out in second half, I get that warm-up, and all it takes is a couple plays. I get that second win, and I know I can finish the entire game with full intensity. You know, it's just a matter of if my team can finish, because I know I can do it. And I feel like if they feed off my energy and the energy I know some other guys can bring, you know, I feel like there's nothing that's going to be able to slow me down or slow the rest of the team down.
You're heading up to Cascade next week. Your initial thoughts on that matchup?
They're a good team. It's going to take a lot. You're going to be really physical. and I'm really looking forward to it. Haven't really had a super physical game other than Crater, and I think these guys are going to challenge us in a great positive way that's going to push us to get better in the future.
All right, Logan Whitlock, our player of the game. Once again, 5 rushing touchdowns plus a kick return touchdown. I'll give you a final word if you want to add anything else.
See you at state.
All right, we will take one more break, and then we will wrap it up here. You're listening to Henley Football on 104.3 and 960 Sports and watching on mybasin.com.
Threads. There are many threads that run through our region. There are churches and schools and little league teams that bring us together and bind us into communities. There are roads and cars, there are houses and jobs and businesses, all woven together to make the fabric of our communities. There are financial threads that are part of that tapestry as well. For over 80 years, it's been our pleasure to be headquartered here, providing financial services to generations of our friends and neighbors. From that first savings account, to retirement planning, and all of the cars and houses and groceries in between, we keep your money local, investing it back into our communities, adding more threads to the fabric to make our communities stronger. Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union. Find your path.
Welcome back to Hill O'Brien Field, where the Henley Hornets wrapped up a 46-15 win over Ashland in their league play opener. And Logan Whitlock, again, he was our player of the game with 5 rushing touchdowns and a kick return touchdown. Henley defense forced 3 turnovers, kept some really good players, guys with college offers, bottled up throughout the game. They head to Cascade next week. What figures to be another test, but we thought this would be a test too, and well, they made quick work of it, Kevin.
Yeah, I think Cascade's going to be a little different ball game. It's going to be on the road. They're a good team, so I think we're going to have our work cut out for us there. The Henley running game isn't a secret by any means. People are going to know what's going on, and the success Logan Whitlock has had. So that's going to be interesting next week to see. They're going to have all week to scheme. Cascade they'll watch the game, and we'll see if anybody can be successful. That's obviously the first step to try to attack this team, is to stop that run, but that's a difficult task. We've seen 3 teams so far try, and it just doesn't happen. Henley's very good at executing, very good at adjusting, and Logan is a special back. So it'll be a good challenge next week, and we look forward to it. There are a couple finals we can give if you'd like. Lost River game 59-14, the Raiders won against Camas Valley. And we also mentioned earlier that Mazama was beaten at Marist tonight, 33-29.
Yeah, first loss of the season for the Vikings. As you know, they went undefeated last year all the way into the state quarterfinals, where they lost as the number 1 seed. And Vic Lease indicated to me that his team hadn't quite been ready to play in their first couple games. Not quite. I haven't had a chance to talk to him yet, obviously, but I don't imagine he'll be too pleased with tonight's result, as they lost 33-29.
Yeah, this league's going to be fun. As the next 2-3 weeks come at us, it's going to be a good league. We got Marshfield coming up. We have Mazama, KU. KU's a lot better this year, so I'm excited. We have some good football coming our way, and Henley, the good 3-0 start.
That about does it for us here at Hill O'Brien Field. For my partner, Kevin Petrik, and our cameraman, Christian Shira, I'm Matt Bowling saying good night, and thanks for tuning in. You've been listening to Henley Football on 104.3 and 960 Sports. and watching on mybasin.com.